Welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. It's Tuesday night. It is the hobby and chill night. That's right, it's Tuesday night, and I'm joined by the wonderful Mr. Chris Swabatois. Is that how you say your Twitch handle name? Swabatois?
Servitor.
Swabatois? You French? Is that why we say it that way?
No, it's a character from a book.
Which book?
The Legend by David Gemmell.
Oh, nice. That's nice. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Me and Chris are going to be doing some beautiful hobby. We're going to be taking some questions. We're just going to be hanging out, if you guys are okay with that. As always, thank you to everyone on Twitch and Patreon who help support the show. You guys are the best. The very best. Literally couldn't do without you. So thank you. They changed my life, the people on Patreon and Twitch. Chris? And seeing as you're one of the patrons, you've changed my life, so thanks.
You're welcome.
It's quite nice being able to hang out with someone who changed my life. So, Full Greamer, good evening. How are you doing? So, I am going to be painting today. I'm going to continue what I was doing last week. I'll show you. Painting up this Verminlord Corruptor. And Chris should be able to show you via his camera. He's doing that. One of them. Another Verminlord Corruptor.
Yeah, you're not seeing double.
No, we're both painting up a Verminlord Corruptor because it's all about the Skaven nowadays. Well, that's my opinion anyway. Because it would be cool to get some Skaven armies rocked and played with, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe do some bat reps with some Skaven. But we're going to have to do... so painting up the Verminlords is fine. Hi, the Wizard. Painting up the Verminlords is fine, but the stress is when it's going to be like, okay, now we need 100 clan rats. That's never the fun part. Never the fun part.
I think Speckles said he was happy to do those.
Yeah, Speckles is going to do that port. Hello, Elk Reb, WS Gorelord. Hi, Frank. What's good? How's things going? It's going great. Thanks for asking. We're doing some hobby, and we're taking questions from you guys. We also, today, are going to be talking about our favourite sci-fi TV shows growing up. That's what we decided, didn't we, Chris?
We did.
And we're going to be rating them. Hi, Tristan Gray. R.I.P. the Giants. It's all about 100 Plague Monks. It is. Dinosaur Edition, hello. How long is the running? Does it play off to unpack all my painted stuff? This is running for 2 hours, sir. 2 of the goldenest hours, if that's okay with you guys. Hi, Warhammer Rob. Twice in one day, I know, right? No, the Bumble Giant is going to be painted up, but we're going to do the rats first. Rats first. Is that okay with you, Chris?
Yep.
Sure?
Maybe.
We actually also, everybody, we're actually trying out some new microphones. So I'd love to get your guys' feedback because we're trying to make it so that we've got some better microphones when we do our tournament coverage. So I'm just trying these out. So let me know how they go or what you guys think of them. So I'd be excited to know. If it sound better, does it sound worse? People who constantly listen, is it different, or can you tell no difference? In which point it was a completely superfluous piece of work that we've done. Dino Tight Edition, paint your results inside of our Discord, which you can pop up via !Discord. That's fun. Would G1 Transformers count as a sci-fi show? Definitely. Nathan can't break them. Yes, I'm looking for microphones Nathan can't break. That's what we're doing.
There's no promises there.
And Boy Phil, how many C920s are we using? Currently 4?
3.
Yeah, that one's not on. But yeah, if that it helps you out, Boy Phil. I don't know why that's something you're super interested in, but 4 is what we're currently on. No, 3. But at the weekend we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the weekend, which was pretty cool doing the coverage. Deeper bass. Is it bassier? Is that better? Is it more? Is it clearer? Is there less background noise and general rubbish? That's what I'm hoping for. The bass. Well, I hope these are better microphones. That's what I'm aiming for, anyway.
It's nicer than having the mics attached.
What, with the packs?
Yeah.
See, the packs are what I've always been used to, so I feel very safe with that. And also, if I attach the packs to either Tom or Nathan, it means they can't run away from the microphone. That's
I'm talking over here.
They might be able to do that, but I'm hoping that they don't actually do it. So that's my kind of dream, and I would like to improve the sound quality
Nathan
at
just
the tournament.
starts playing with the end.
He probably will play with the microphone. That's my worry. Everyone seems to be okay with it. Good. All right.
Win.
Win. Tristan Gray says, this is his technical response, they sound less rubbish. Right, okay, we'll talk about it now. All right, Twitch chat. The conversation we're going to start off with today while we paint. We could talk about Warhammer. We're just going to go a little bit left field, if that's all right. If everyone's okay with that. And I'm going to say, Chris, what's your favourite TV sci-fi show? And then we'll break them down. Yeah?
I really like Firefly.
Firefly's your number one.
Not sure. There's so many that would fit at that top level.
There is a load, but you got to pick one.
Well, that's just being mean, isn't it?
Well, that's very specific. Twitch chat, what's your number one and why?
So my top 5 that then I have to choose one from, probably Firefly, Babylon 5.
No, it didn't say top 5. Start at 1.
No, because I'll have 5 and then I'll choose one out of that.
All right, okay, fine.
It's easier to narrow to 5 than to 1 straight off.
Okay, okay.
Saying that, I don't know where I'm going to go from there. So, what's yours?
I think unquestionably the best sci-fi ever made has been the modern Babylon 5. However, beyond that,
early seasons, not late season.
The whole thing, it's a singular piece of work in my opinion. But then beyond that, Firefly, Farscape is excellent. Also,
I've forgotten about Farscape.
Farscape's excellent. Babylon 5 is excellent. Also, it was like, yeah. So those are some of my like tip tops when it comes to rewatchability as well. Farscape's particularly good to rewatch, I think. But yeah, Babylon 5 is the best in my opinion. So the chat is saying, Full Agreement says G1 Transformers has everything, romance, action and tragedy. True. I cried when Optimus died. Yeah. Altboy Phil says DS9, which I agree with, is the best Star Trek. What's your favourite Star Trek? Although the new one's the best Star Trek. Have you seen the new one?
Discovery.
Yeah.
I've watched the first few. I got sidetracked watching some anime, so I need to go back to it.
Okay. All right. I think it's sweet. I'm actually currently up to date, but no spoilers. Brian Sprillo says those shows are old as fuck. Wow. Okay. Babylon 5's not that old. Not Babylon 5, sorry. Thingy's not that old. Battlestar Galactica. Is it?
I think you'll find it's older than you think it is, bud.
No, I imagine it's older than I think it is. But it's still good. Babylon 5 is the best, but they are literally over 20 years old. Yeah, that is old. That one's particularly old. I know that one's old, and I'm okay with it. Future Armistice and East Tristan Gray, talk about Red Dwarf, you English bastards. Red Dwarf is excellent, but only up till season 5. And at that point,
and the ones before they remastered it to CGI.
Yes, absolutely. We don't talk about any of the new any of the new Red Dwarfs, but the old Red Dwarfs are the best. Smoke me a kipper.
Red Dwarfs are definitely better than White Dwarfs.
Yeah, that's definitely true too. Got me tongue-tied. I love Red Dwarf. It's really good. Yeah. Rimmer's excellent. And I think some of my early teenage years were basically me thinking that I was... I thought at a certain point in your life, you think Dave Lister is you're like, I can't wait to be Dave Lister when I grow up.
And then you realise you've turned into Rimmer.
No, I've realised I've turned into the cat. Bears and Beats, Battlestar Galactica. That's right, Matt Pashby. Did you find Farscape got weird towards the end? It did get weird, but that made it better. Because, have you watched all of Farscape beginning to... Hey, Flukesy, do you watch it beginning to end? Farscape?
No idea.
So if you guys have never watched it before, what's really cool about Farscape, in my opinion, is that it starts off with just a regular human being transported into like a sci-fi universe, and he's like, oh my God, this is super weird. So season 1, he's just like dealing with it, yeah, and everything scares him. And then season 2, he's kind of like, right, fuck you guys, I've had enough of this shit, yeah, right, and he always like carries a pistol with him. Then season 3, anytime any noise happens, he fires a gun, yeah, and just shoots at the zone. And season 4, he's like, he doesn't even wait for there to be noises, he's just shooting into the dark, yeah. And it's one man's slip into madness, and that's why I think it's so good. I really liked it because it got some great characterization and story arcs. I think, fuck it, I'm going to watch it again. So good. You should watch it.
I've just got too much to watch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Hi, Greco. Fluxy, it gets a bit odd, yeah. It does get a bit odd. Sliders is good. Did you ever watch Sliders?
I don't think I did.
Where they would like teleport into different realms, and it was pretty bad, but also great. It was episodal as shit. It was the best. Hi, Yaz first. How you doing? What was your favourite episode of Firefly?
Which one was it? The Janetown.
Janetown's really good. I like it when
I think that's the thing. I really wish I had some grenades about now.
Speckles is not here right now. Speckles, after his defeats at the weekend, has actually gone out and bought himself an ogre army along with some giants and refuses to come back on the show until he's painted it up. That's not true. He's away, but he'll be back next week. I think it's his son's birthday, so he's taken him to the cinema to go and have adventures and watch Alita Battle Angel, I think. Janetown, yes. Quantum Leap. What's everyone else's favourites Firefly episode? I'd be excited about that. The hero of Canton, the man they call Jade. It's so good. It's so fucked up as well, but it's so funny. I like the episode of Firefly with Mrs. Reynolds, where Jane tries to trade his favourite gun.
Yeah, Vera or something.
Yeah, Vera. It's my very favourite gun. And tries to trade it for Mrs. Reynolds. So that's funny. Really, really good. Quantum Leap was really good, Brian Spirello. It was very, very good. Did you ever watch Quantum Leap, Chris?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Quantum Leap. Sam Beckett. I think they've got. Do you think they've got room for another Quantum Leap?
Probably not.
No.
No.
Okay.
Probably just screw it up.
No, you don't. You don't want them to screw it up. I thought it was good. Oh boy, Scrivo. Oh boy. That's the next voyage. Is the voyage show. Stargate SG-1 Atlantis rocked as well. Oh right. I saw someone the other day. What did someone say on Twitter? Someone said something along the lines of, "Oh, and this is what's really impactful to me." It was a Games Workshop narrative writer. He said, "Oh, I've just finished watching Stargate SG-1 again, the sci-fi masterpiece." And I was like, no, it's not. It's like Ant and Dec in space.
Yeah.
Yeah? Is my opinion. Like, it's not really up there, right? We are both painting Vermilord's Hawkeye. Chris, do you want to show me your Vermilord?
Yep.
There it is. And my Vermilord. That's great, Chris. Thank you. It's mine. Mine's very white and brown. We're doing, what did you say we're doing? Night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing transient, no, that's not the right word. Conflicting colours. Contrasting.
Contrasting.
Yeah, there we go. Did the end of Quantum Leap ever tell you if it was God using them to sound to right wrongs? No, did it? I hope it didn't. That would be rubbish. Robotech was a foundational show for me and my love of large robots and strong-willed brunettes. Robotech? What was that?
Doesn't ring a bell.
No, it doesn't ring a bell. It was Pulp Fiction, not high sci-fi, swanky stuff. Are you allowed to show your Vermilords on Twitch? Yeah. You did it. What's wrong with it? Can you not? Why can't you show them? Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. What about, so me and Chris had this conversation, and we haven't touched on some of the sci-fi, so we should go back to it. But Buck Rogers
Yeah.
versus
Awesome.
what was the other one we said? Original Battlestar Galactica. Which, FYI, Stargate SG-1 goes in the same category with those shows. Same category. The comedy fantasy, the comedy sci-fi. No?
Yeah.
Okay. I personally, Buck Rogers is the best. Buck Rogers in space. I actually sometimes think Nathan's an extra from Buck Rogers. Yeah, somehow ended up on this planet, and it's like, oh no. To be honest, I can't remember having watched Buck Rogers a lot since I was a kid.
What was the woman in it? What was her name?
What, in Buck Rogers?
Yeah.
Fucking no idea. The
pilot.
I only remember he's called Buck Rogers because of the name of the show.
Nathan in Buck Rogers.
Oh, classic. And did anyone ever watch Space Police, or it was Space? Oh, what was it? It was something anyway where they were space police, and I watched it on YouTube the other day, and it was so atrocious. I was like, "Oh, this is so different to what I remember as a kid." I only remember the Duck Rogers. What's Duck Rogers, Flukesy? Buck Rogers was season 1 was actually very good sci-fi for its time. The studio messed up season 2 and got rid of the principals.
Deering.
Colonel Deering.
Yeah, I think that was the name of the woman that was in it. She was quite hot in a little white jumpsuit.
Do you remember the season? There was a season where there was like a Birdman sort of person, and he had like black and white hair, right? Like kind of, and it was kind of like a thing. Anyway, so when I was DJ, well, while I've been DJing over the years, for the time when Scene Kids or emos, so some people you may know them. Several of them looked exactly like that. They had the kind of half of it was blonde dyed and the other half it was like matted to the head. And I would just be looking around and all I would be seeing was this bird character from Buck Rogers. And I was like, oh no, this is scary as shit. Buck Rogers only has 2 seasons. Hawkman was in season 2. Yes! Hawkman!
Brilliant.
He was the best. Hi OJ. Hi everyone on the Twitch chat. Let's just get involved in the chat. And what about Captain Bucky O'Hare? Did you ever watch that?
That was the kids' cartoon one, wasn't it?
Huh? Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I did.
What do you think?
I seem to remember liking it as a kid. I'm assuming if I went back and watched it now, it's going to look awful.
Probably.
As most things seem to.
Let me see. Flukesy just posted the correct one in Discord, so I'm going to go find that. And also, Scrivo's pointed out one of my favourite ever sci-fis, which was Space Above and Beyond, if you've ever watched that. It only had 1 season.
With the wild cards.
Yeah.
And Tank.
And the nipple necks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You damn nipple neck.
Isn't he called Tank?
Maybe he's called Tank. Heinrad. Yes. Saw you at the weekend. Yeah, they were nipple necks and they were fighting against the Squiggies, maybe? Or what were they fighting against? Fuck, something.
The Chig.
The Chigs. Oh, good memory. That's impressive. When the Harsh Commander died and they sent home pancakes into the black hole. Heinrad, I remember that, and it was to Johnny Cash. It was to a Johnny Cash song, I'm pretty certain. Oh my god.
Their first flight mission and goes through and it plays the Blitzkrieg bot.
Yes. That's one of the best. That's criminally underrated. That's probably the most criminally underrated sci-fi ever. FYI. Yeah, I'll have to watch it back. It's weird doing hip stretches and chatting at the same time. Tristan Gray, you're doing some working out over in Canada. LLV was telling me earlier that it's like minus 40 where he is. And it's been that way for like 4 months. We're in England's winter and it's been 18 degrees today. You are one of the only 2 people to ever win only 1 game with Daughters of Cain at an event. No, LLV is talking to Heinrad. Heinrad today is one of only 2 people in the world to go to a match play event with Daughters of Cain and only win 1 game. OJ, thanks for subscribing for 5 months, you babe.
Was that just because Speckles doesn't play him?
Yes. Speckles did win 3 at the weekend, to be fair. But then he's the only person. But he's also the only person to lose to ogres. So, I don't know what to tell you at this stage. He's a lunatic. Heinrad, I owe my successes to everything I learned on the Honest Pocket. I also lost the Speckles on the Friday.
Brilliant.
I like that he's taking ownership of these losses and he's like, fuck you guys, I'm on a one-man mission to take these stats. If someone bought me a Daughters of Cain army and painted them, I'd go one better or worse. 0 wins. Oh dear. Well done, Heinrad. You may potentially be the worst player in the world. Or the least giving of fucks. Maybe he just ran off every objective every turn and just went and killed shit and was like, yes.
How drunk were you?
That's also important. I would say that when we saw Pete's game live streamed, potentially Pete didn't win the entire game because he was absolutely smash-faced by game 2. That's also important to point out. Yeah. Okay, Heinrich. As lame as it sounds, The Magicians. What's that? The Magicians? Is that a TV show?
No idea.
Don't know. I think it's unquestionable how good Battlestar Galactica is.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. I think it was just so good.
Got too chatty.
Got
too chatty.
What, too much talking?
Yeah.
I like talking.
Not enough fighting.
Nah. I'm like a big Aaron Sorkin fan, so I just love talking. Which...
You just love talking.
I mean, if everyone's not aware by that at this stage, I think you haven't been watching the show.
I was going to say, that's the whole reason this show exists.
Yeah. I think it's about having to be a sociopath to do magic or something. The Magicians, do I need to watch it? What armies are up for updates now that Rats and Cannibals have been updated? Sylvaneth, Khorne, Kharadron Overlords, Dispossessed.
We're actually going to talk about Hobby, are we?
I think they're going to put all of the elves together. That makes sense. Well, that's what I expect them to do. Putting all of would you want all the elves to go together?
Not an elf player, so I don't really care.
What about all the ogres together? This is a talk show.
Don't play ogres.
This is a talk show, Chris.
It's like, why are you asking me about ogres?
Huh?
I don't play ogres.
I know, but I don't play many of the things I talk about.
Actually, I don't play AOS. So
that's true. That's true. Hi, Datcom. I would say
are they the ones that got giants in?
Ogres.
Yeah.
Although most of the armies have giants in, actually. You can play giants in 3 of the armies, actually. You can play them in Destruction. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, 2 of the factions. Destruction and Chaos, you can play them in. You can't play them in Order. And you can't play them in Death, which is a shame.
But they've got fuck off big dragons.
Yeah, they've got all sorts of big stuff, realistically. And Order's got all sorts of big stuff as well. So it'd be cool if they did giants and everything. Do Dead Giants, yeah. I think they should do Dead Giants. That would be fun. Iron Jaws need an update. Oh, yeah, Iron Jaws really needs an update. And if they get an update, anything like Flesh Eater Courts, they're going to be bananas. But I reckon Iron Jaws have sold...
What's the next one?
The next battle tome is Khorne, which should be quite good, realistically. Don't Don't forget that the Bone Giant, I know, RIP the Bone Giant. LLV, I'm worried Dispossessed might be heading for Compendium based on the fact that all their players don't actually play with them and listed spending their time writing how good they are with who they hated books. Just had to look at YouTube. All of the episodes of Space Above and Beyond are available to watch online.
There we go.
On YouTube. They are. So's Hornblower, by the way, which I've been watching. I don't know why. But I've been watching it, and then I've been getting my coffees in the morning. I'm like, a coffee, sir. For you, sir. Yes, sir. A coffee, sir. Thank you, sir. Hanrad, I'm an evil man and dedicate my losses to Marathi's stupid twin that I seem to have in my army. You've got the evil sister. That's what he's got. Hornblower is sharp at sea, and sharp's the best. Do you want to know a really cool thing about... I can relate these if you would like. Do you know that most, if you bother to look, or if anyone's ever played Battlefleet Gothic, if you pay attention, most of the, as Games Workshop is often to do, most of the spaceships for the different races are based on Babylon 5 spaceships. So Eldar look a lot like the Minbari.
Mm-hmm.
Then the human cruisers look like human spaceships. Like, they literally are all... If you go look, they're all the same.
Yeah, right.
It's cool, right?
I'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah. I'm sure someone could probably bring it up, but yeah, Babylon 5 spaceships got ripped off for Games Workshop's IP for 40k spaceships. There you go. Because they were big fans of it.
So it was about the right time.
It was about exactly the right time. That's, well, almost, yeah. When they were getting into design and stuff like that, then that's it. So yeah, which I think is cool. Oh, Defiance is good. Yeah. Full Thrust is a game like Gothic, just more fresh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I play Battlefield Gothic a bit on my PC, and it was great. But I don't play PC games anymore because I'm too busy painting Warhammer and playing Warhammer.
Same.
We were just talking about that before. Is anyone else kind of fairly new to the hobby as an adult, or like come back to the hobby as an adult and found that their computer game playing has waned in favour of Warhammering hobby? Question to everyone. I know, Chris, you were saying that that's true for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. But as I work with computers all day, having something that's not computer related after work is really good.
Maybe that's true for a lot of people, though, right?
Yeah.
Fried Frog, you speak like I paint my models. It's a good argument. Definitely true for me. Yes and no. I play games to give me inspiration sometimes. I still go to LAN parties, says Fluxy. That's probably because, Fluxy, you're one of the coolest dudes in the world. Are you a Bobo, Fluxy? Because I'm looking forward to that. I also think Clint wants to grudge you for round one. So, from CanCon. Sometimes one inspires the other. Video game, tabletops, and tabletops video games. Yeah, I'd say that's true. I was an awful Street Fighter tournament player, says Heinrad. Now I'm an awful AOS tournament player. I think Warhammer games, especially 40k, are a detriment to the franchise. Wow. Do you want to qualify that, Yazfest, and tell me why? It gets lots of people into the game. I'll tell you what's really good as a game is Total War. Warhammer Total War.
2.
1 or 2. They're both brilliant, and that definitely can be a sync that just takes hours away. And it almost feels like, I know it's going to sound like really terrible, almost feels like what playing the tabletop version of the game should kind of feel like sometimes, but is much removed, right? Yeah, I mean, you're going to be at Bobo. All right.
It's not turn-based, so that's quite a big difference.
Dino Titan Edition, if you'd play Blood Bowl, I'd get a visa just to play you at that, Rob. Okay, I've got an army. Done. I'll play. I already said I'm going to start playing Blood Bowl because I want to play with either the dwarves or the grots. Because apparently the grots, you never win. But if you can throw grots places, and I just want to throw grots places. That's my thing.
Is that with the troll or something?
Yeah, he just throws it. Troll! Troll! LLV, funny story, a number of years ago I got drunk and I met a lady in a bar. Oh, I can't wait for this story. And I took her home. Oh! On the way home in taxi, I asked if she watched Sharp. She hadn't. When I got to my house, I thought it was a good idea to put my new Sharp DVDs on to show her how cool it was. She left after 15 minutes of episode 1 and they called a taxi and left. I watched the rest of the episode. It was great.
That's amazing.
Do you know what? If she left while Sharp was on, then she's not the woman for you. That's my thoughts. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't worry about that. That's just a great story. And I'm myself, says Hydra, to be followed player at Bobo to show everyone how Daughters of Cain lose every round. There's actually something quite cool that we were talking. We're having a really fun conversation. But if you guys want to hear a really cool techie thing that me and Chris were talking about earlier, so I think when we do the Bobo coverage, which is really exciting if you guys are interested, the other table that we're covering, while we're covering it, or not even the other table, a third table could be a table that we cover, but instead of talking about the game, we can just record it, including the audio from the players, and then we can do kind of like a post-show analysis of those games as we follow someone around, which I think would be a really cool thing to do, and then stick them up. We talked about that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea because it gives you a bit of extra time to do the analytics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And also highlight some strategies and so for development purposes.
Yes, I think so. I think that would
and
be really,
counter
really good.
strategies as well. So if someone's brought the kumquat
Mm-hmm.
and someone deals with it in a really cool way, like things like that could be developed into it as well.
It also means that from like a tournament the size of Bobo, where there are 200 players, so there'll be 100 games, so 500 games effectively over a weekend. It means that we could at least cover 2 like top table, the person we're following, and we could also get a third. So we'll get 15 tables worth of coverage out of a weekend, which is quite exciting. Yep, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. And LV, I've always thought it would be great to do post-game analysis of key games. Well, LV, I think we're going to be able to do that with the system that we're going to have in place at Bobo, which is really, really exciting. Just learning as we go. And one of the key things, or what we're doing right now while we're live, dudes, is we're actually trying to. These are different microphones, and they're super, super sensitive. So that means that when we're at Bobo, there should be a lot less background noise. That's the plan. So you guys won't have to hear the whole, even though the commentators will be live and close, you should just get like some pretty good sound. That's the plan. So I hope you guys are enjoying the audio. Sounds great. American football does the same thing. Oh, cool. So Denise, do they end up covering, do they cover the whole game? Yeah, that'd be fun. I've always thought it'd be, there you go. It's in the PMs, Rob. I do need to spend a bit more time with Discord, seems to be the thing now. Yeah, you should get into our Discord, Dino. That'd be fun. Tristan Gray, love the idea. Cool. Cheers, Kristen. ASMR mic tests. Acrylic chemist, you are really going to have to help me out, my brother. I'm always surprised that no one ever records battle reports and then adds a commentary track over the top. That is how esports was covered before live streaming, when the commentators knew the outcomes very often, so they can talk through why they were doing something because they know what will happen. Yeah. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to be doing that. We can actually record, not infinite, but we can record several tables over a weekend, realistically, with the right equipment.
There's plans, isn't there?
Hmm?
There's some plans in place to try and do that.
Yeah, that's the plan. So I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but no one else in the world knows that apart from you guys. So that's cool. So thanks for being here and being part of that. Also, it's nice innovating, right? It's boring just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. And, at the end of the day, most of the stuff that I do is a bit of an experiment.
Mm.
So some trial and error on how to get the right formula and how that's going to work.
Yeah. I'm loving it. ASMR. What the fuck is that? What is an ASMR video? Autonomous sensory meridian response is an experience characterized by static-like or tingling sensation on the skin. What? Brain orgasms in advertising. Please, someone explain it. It's when you whisper into the mic.
Welcome to the Honest Wargamer. You can't paint. Don't edge highlight that. No one wants to edge highlight their mini.
And now someone has an erection, says Flixie. Is this how I should do? What?
The gooking on Terrorgeist can do 18 mortal wounds.
Shit. You can't even do 18 mortal wounds. What's 12 times 6? 60.
The gooking on Terrorgeist can do 72 mortal wounds in one combat phase.
Rob, do you think about Ungor Raiders and Wildfire Tauruses as an answer? Alright, okay, real question. DeBolt only just got here. Fuck this. You're all weirdos.
If you'd like to go to the official Warhammer stream and watch Duncan and Peachy ASMR,
I don't know what that means. Right. Do you think that Ungor Raiders and Wildfire Taurus is the answer to Kumquats? Kumquats. So Wildfire Taurus is good. Really, really good inside the Beast of Chaos book. So that makes something always strike last, which will negate something always striking first. What's really important about the general of a beast of a Flesh Eater Corpse army is it says he goes before that combat phase starts. So if you make him strike at the end of the combat phase, it means he can't even strike at all. What are you going to do to that? It just cancels it, LOV. Just cancels it out so it can't even strike. Same is true of Itchy Nuisance. If you cast that, so you can do that with your gits, Chris. You can be like, Itchy Nuisance. And they'll be like, no.
Sweet.
Yeah. Web flingers for gits are good too.
No, Fluxy, web flingers are not good. You're going to want a shaman on top of that. You got a spider? You want to put a shaman on top? No. I'm going to read all the narrative to the Skaven in only this voice.
Or I can do it in Nathan's voice. Hold on. Let me be South African.
All right, welcome to you.
I can't do it. Where's the unsubscribe button? Now I know I can do this to people. I can just trigger people. I'll do this when we're doing we're doing one of the big shows.
I think you'll find the stats for Daughters of Cain have got so much better. Oh my god.
They haven't.
Heinrad's just ruining it them. So you guys have joined us, by the way. I'm painting up a Vermin Lord Corruptor, and Chris is also painting up a Vermin Lord Corruptor. Acrylic canvas. This was such a good idea, spreading the chaos. We are going full ASMR. I don't. What does ASMR? What's? Oh wait, assisted autonomous sensory meridian response. Okay. Weird. I'm going to tell Nathan to do some ASMR just to trigger people. Yeah, LOV, next week we'll do the stats all in. We'll do the ASMR week. Yeah? The whole week in ASMR mode. Why Corruptors doing a Warbringer here? Fried Frog, so I have 2 Corruptors is probably the main reason I'm painting up 2. Because they're cool. They've got a great spell as well. So I'm at least going to be using 1 in the future. And I also have a Verminlord Warpseer. So he's getting painted up. And then I'm probably going to run a list that's a Corruptor, a Warpseer, and then 4 Greyseers is going to be my list for the Skaven. For the goddamn dirty Skaven rats. Which I'm pretty excited about.
They do seem cool.
They're very cool. They're very cool. They've got lots of different units. And I think it's just one of those incredibly exciting battle tomes, in my opinion.
It's a very old school army.
Yeah. I mean, the Verminlord kits are actually fairly new.
No, I mean the army itself. Like, because I can remember one of my mates at school, he had a Skaven army. He used to smash stuff or blow himself up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think you're going to see these armies played a lot just because they're so much fun, and they're dumb. They're just dumb, like in loads of different ways, but in a fun way. But they could potentially. I think they're tournament winning. So, and the models are insane. They're finally usable in games. Like these models have been rubbish since their release. So finally, you're going to see Vermin. Oh no, actually no. There was a year phase in AOS 1 where actually Verminlord Deceivers were quite important in the game because you could teleport a lot of different stuff. And Thankwall was too cheap, so people would teleport Thankwall, or they would teleport the Deceiver itself, and Thankwall would just beat stuff up. They took my Poison Wind Mortar away. I'm sorry, Fried Frog. They did just take them away. They were like, none of those for you. The rest of the list, Barbacane is probably going to be, I think there's like 200 points in Ender Spells, 250 points in Ender Spells. Then it'll be Clan Rats, 40 and 220s, and they still have some spare points. So maybe a Warp Lightning Cannon, maybe a Hell Pit Abomination for some counterpunch is kind of my list at the minute. They left a pick of the Mortar in the Skaven book though. Top Trolls. so they squatted a unit and then left a point in. That's great. That's really good. I think that's really funny. Chris, are you excited? And Twitch chat, are you excited about the launch of the new Chaos stuff coming soon?
New Primaris stuff?
The new, Primaris and Chaos stuff.
Yep.
I mean, it's arguable whether or not Chaos are actually Primaris. Primaris are actually Chaos, but, we'll leave that subject alone.
They're not.
You sure? How do you know Cole's a good guy? How do you know? Exactly. Don't trust anyone in the 40k universe.
Remember, no one's a good guy, are they?
Well, exactly, yeah. People are asking me. Skaven and the spells. Vortex, Geminids, Pendulum, and what else? I would take Palisade. I think Prismatic Palisade is the most underrated spell out of the spells. I'd be tempted to take Gravetide and double it up, but probably not. And then I'd also maybe take the healing spell, because I think that's pretty important for Skaven, because they keep hurting themselves. So, but I definitely would go for all of the. I'd probably also take Quicksilver Swords, because that's really decent as well. Those are what I'm currently tempted by. Thanks, Dino Shackles. Oh yeah, Ixtab, thank you. And obviously Shackles. Shackles is the best. Hi Scrivo, how you doing? Oh whoa, who the flip did this? Is this Dino? Man, Chris, you'll have to look on Discord later. But those are, you guys should jump in the Discord. They are so good. Flippity flip flops. Man. Oh, he's got goblins. Wow. Okay, they're really good. They're really good. Very green, as you'd expect. But yeah, those are.
Is that in Hobby Hangout?
Yeah, just in the Twitch chat. So in the Discord chat, if you want to. What are your thoughts on the new Blade Combat Tome? Are there any units you foresee getting buffed or nerfed? Example, Bloodthirster, Incessant Rage. I just think generally everything will get better and it will synergize better. There's loads of characters that don't have any abilities at the minute. Yes, good. They're good, right?
Really good. Nice
well done, sir. Well done.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Messed up my game a bit.
I think, I don't know. I honestly, I was talking to Chris about this earlier. It's one of the things that I think I've done quite well over the past year and a half, having left Games Workshop, is I've got myself off that cycle of like obsessing about what's going to be in a book or a box, and then just getting it, and then and for some people that's their.
We had that earlier, didn't we? Going through, and they've been putting out the Vigilus stories and stuff on community site, kind of the build up to Shadowspear, and all the comments are just tell us what's in the fucking box.
Yeah, I personally am more interested in. So just this week, for instance, I still need to read all the narrative for both the Skaven and the Flesh Eater Courts book. And not need to, want to is a better description. So I've still got that to do. So I can spend... I don't really have any time to spend on a forum, like trying to guess what'll happen in box A or box B.
Yeah.
So I think I'd rather just get the stuff and play with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of like to have some kind of expectation of how poor I'm going to be.
You can just wait. It's not sold out.
I wasn't saying about it. It'd be sold out.
Yeah, you just want it now.
Yeah.
Self-assembled.
You've seen how long it takes me to paint, man.
It's true. That's true. Although we're going to paint these up by next week.
Okay.
Rats. Bloody rats. Self-assembled. Is there anything you would recommend for someone just starting with Warhammer? I used to have friends that played but never got into it myself. So self-assembled, you've never played before. Okay. There's a
AOS or 40k?
AOS. Well, it said Warhammer, but either. I'd say, so one of the things that's cool is if you want to go onto the honestwargamer.com, there's a book called The Workbook, and that will help you put some armies, that'll put an army together. But before that, the thing you probably want to do is look on the web store for Games Workshop and find an army you like the look of, and then also ask a bunch of people how you think that army plays. And the workbook's got kind of an example of maybe how you are as a person. You might be someone who's super aggro and wants stuff over quickly, in which case Flesh Eater Courts is an army for you. You may also be really rich, so you might be like, I want to take Forge World, Death Corps of Krieg. So there's lots of options, and it can be a little bit daunting. And some people will make the suggestion, pick the models you like, but the problem is the models you like might not play the way that you like. Harlequins are a good example. So, but yeah, if you read the workbook, it does ask you what your goal is, a bunch of other stuff, and I think that's good. Yeah. Carrion Empire did sell out. Oh, wow. Server commands are blocked. Thanks. Yeah, go on the site. I can recommend the workbook. It does wonders, says Hydrant. Okay. What do I think of the Kamikaze Claw Lord list? I bloody love it. I bloody love it.
What's this?
Just running loads of Claw Lords at your opponent.
Sweet.
Yeah. Which is really, really cool. Thanks, Scrivo, for putting the workbook link in there. Why did
Just
you...
before you move on,
Yeah.
what's Claw Lord?
Claw Lord is like a small Skaven rat, so like smaller than these guys, and it's the general, because these guys have got clans. Mm-hmm. So Skaven are all about clans, and these guys are in the Master Clan, by the way, bloody Nazis, of course. And they used to be demons, but I don't think they've got the demon keyword anymore. And Claw Lords are from Clan Verminus, who effectively are like the Khorne/war variant of their clans. They kind of have, because they're in the Chaos God pantheon now. So the Horned Rat, so unlike 40k, AOS has 5 Chaos Gods. So you've got the 4 standard, and then you've got the Great Horned Rat. So they're the Lord of, so the Chaos Lord of these guys, really. So that's really interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. See you later, Sanish, babe. Yeah, that's right, Skaven do have a strict class system, and they are super racist against other races. So Claw Lords represent the kind of the warlike part of it. The most famous Claw Lord back in the day would have been Squeak Headtaker.
That's a cool name.
That is a cool name. And he is a rat, that's fine.
Do they have any assassin characters?
Yes, they've got a whole clan. Clan Eshin.
Sweet.
Is so they've got one of these called the Verminlord Deceiver.
Yeah.
He's a cool model, so I don't have one of those. But yeah, it's the Verminlord Deceiver. He's the Verminlord that represents that clan. Mm-hmm. And they've got assassins, and they've got all sorts. It's really, really cool.
That sounds cool. I don't think it'll be competitive, but it sounds cool.
Oh wow, Dino Titan Edition makes a good point. It has more than 5 Chaos Gods in AOS. It's just 5 big ones. And as a Chaos Dwarf player, because I've got the god Hashut. Hashut.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? You don't think that's real? You don't want it to be real, do you?
Real, is it?
Huh?
Your army's not real.
My army is so real. Oh, nice. They're still demons. Good. All right. I think I've almost done all of the white on this model now. Look at that guy. Woohoo! Now I'm going to go on to some green. Yeah, so the rats being in the Chaos Gods, I think, is quite cool now. Yeah, which is quite fun. And some of them, like, so this Corruptor, so that we're painting, he has a keyword Nurgle. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to ally him into my Chaos Dwarfs because I can ally in Nurgle, but I can't ally in Skaven. So I can use the keyword for him to ally him in.
Yep.
And I can also ally him
as a mortal enemy.
No, yeah, and I can also put this guy inside a Nurgle army because he's got the Nurgle keyword, which is cool. And then he can take some Nurgle stuff.
There's new start collecting box just gone on pre-ordering
for
Maggotkin.
Yes, yes, with the new
bloat drone. Not bloat drones. What are they called? That's the 40k name, isn't it?
No, they are. No, not them.
No, because that's the lawnmower guys, isn't it? What are they called?
The name has gone from me, Chris.
Bug.
Nope.
Things of Doom.
Corruptor and Plague Monks is very good in Maggotkin. It's always been very good at Maggotkin. Maybe even better than it has been before now. Oh, yeah. They're not called Plague Drones, Scrivo, because it's the... they are called...
No, Plague Drones are the...
It's the guys with Black Kings riding on top.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Those dudes.
Yeah, it's not getting into me right now.
What was the other one?
What?
The other...
Pushgore Blight Lords. Thanks, LLV. That's what they're called.
What was the other start collecting box that came in?
Oh, Idneth Deepkin. With eels.
With eels.
With eels, yeah. So it's very exciting if you are into... The eel one is really, really good, but I would expect in the new General's Handbook the eel one is going to change points because the eels are so crazy good.
Right.
But then they haven't won tournaments. They've always just gone 4-1. Mm-hmm. So it might be worth... I mean, they've won a couple, I think. But it might be worth just changing some of the points on the other book, on the other things in the book, because you don't tend to see a lot of the other things.
So they'll probably go through and make them cheaper then?
Yes. Probably. They're still great at Maggotkin, and the +1 for unit size, they are hopefully better in Pestilence now at least. Yeah, I agree. I'm doing this green, if you guys are interested. It's the green I'm going for.
That's quite green.
How you doing, Chris?
What's that, mute green?
I'm using moot green. Stick your model in front, let's have a look. This is Chris's work. Oh, so serious. Yeah, man. I'm into it. Yeah, it looks good. So what were we talking? We were talking about our favorite sci-fi series. What's your favorite sci-fi movie, Chris? Same to the Twitch chat.
Can't really say Serenity, can I?
Huh?
Can't really say Serenity. That would be a bit wrong.
You can.
Probably should have prepped this earlier because there's too many.
Heinrad says, so serious question time. If Daughters of Cain are so good, why do I not see many people playing them at tournaments, and why is death more numerous? It's probably because of producing them, Heinrad. Like actually putting them on the tabletop is a bit of a faff. Like they're very
expensive, isn't it?
They're very, very expensive as well. Like the oh, Dudar Day, thanks for the bits donation. Bring back Speckles. I love you, Dudar Day. I would say that that it's because they're very, very expensive and they're very tough to actually get on the tabletop. That would be my initial reasoning as to why. I personally think that they are probably not going to be seen as much. That's just me. And then Beer of Rod. Honest Wargame, why isn't the solution to drop points of other units to make them more attractive rather than increase points on the competitive choice, such as Zangol Enlightened on disc? That would be because you already know they're quantifiably too cheap. That's the issue. Yeah, so you know that they're too cheap in comparison to everything else, so why fuck with the points of everything else, of which there are 1,000 War Scrolls, and then not change the offenders? That would be the easiest solution, I would say, instead of accidentally making other things too cheap.
Which is what's happened to 40k.
Which is what's happened in 40k. So, and you have to drop... you're going through thousands of War Scrolls to make a change, instead of just attacking one War Scroll, and then that's fine. Thanks, Dudade, for the bits, though. Appreciate that. 2001. I just forget if Bulgors or Gorgons, Cygors, Gargants were cheaper, people would take second. If they were cheaper, I agree with you. I'm not saying you can't make stuff that's too expensive cheaper as well, but making just everything cheaper is not a solution, because eventually you get down to everything being very few points and you get insanely big armies. Yep. Dude, our day, thanks for another 300 bits. Where he says, Rob, please coach Heinrad in Teotihuacan as a cane. Poor guy is sad-faced. Scrivo wants some advice. My gits are in purple robes. Would pink or light blue squigs work, or should I go with your original idea of yellow? Chris?
What colour were they? Purple?
Mm-hmm.
Yellow would be quite cool.
Yellow squigs?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go, Scrivo. What, you got any reasons for that?
Yellow's nice to paint, though.
Huh?
The only thing is, yellow's a bit of a bugger to paint.
They are. Have you got any advice?
Airbrush.
Get an airbrush.
Airbrush it yellow and then start to work in with some like orange wash. That'll create some nice details.
Okay. That seems fair.
I don't know colour theory and all that kind of jazz to be able to back up why I think yellow and purple, but okay.
I think I need to be Heinrad's coach in Age of Sigmar, but I'm a little bit worried that he's a bad start. Do yellow. I think yellow's cool. I like yellow. I'm going for super bright. So if you guys can start to see the green on my Vermin Lord, I'm all about bright colours on the tabletop. I think it's better personally. I get that up close. I'm not an up close painter. I know that sounds stupid, but I like how an army looks at tabletop distance.
Fit from far away.
Yeah, so I usually paint armies that are a little bit clashing if you look at them close and you go, oh, that's a bit gross. But then on the tabletop you go, oh, it's okay, that works better. And that's how when I first got into it, I started reading a few things about painting. And that was one of those things that I took to heart. I was like, make your army look good at a distance as opposed to up close. Which is probably really bad advice if you want to be a decent painter. So
I think you can probably do both.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I spent a lot of time looking at armies as well when I was at Warhammer and other stuff. And when you do see loads of armies like around you, it's the bright ones that do really stand out. Mm-hmm. So I'd even go to as far as to say make some of them garish would be. Yeah, 3 foot fabulous. Cheers, OJ. That's a good term. Make them 3 foot fabulous. Yeah.
I like that.
Heinrad, I'm so sorry, sad face. So, yeah, look, this is up close. Chris, there you go. Just stick it under the cam, see what people think. There you go, bruv. So, up close, it looks like that fella. So, started to get there. Which is not too bad. And then if we cut back, Chris, you can show the camera. Whoops. So I accidentally turned the stream off there. I'm so sorry. instead of pressing the transition button, I pressed stop streaming. So that would be an issue there. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I haven't done any washes yet. Obviously, that's next. But I'm blocking in all the colours first. That's my plan. Just because you're painting Skaven. Is there a way to magnetize that kit for multiple Vermin Lords? I don't think so. No, I'd almost say not, realistically. So I don't think there is. Oh, dude, our day thanks for the bits donation.
You could, but it's most of the model.
No, I don't.
Tail, legs, body are all the same. It's just the head and the arms.
The tail's different on a couple of the others.
Oh right, okay. I'm just looking at the what's that? Stormlord or something like that.
You can magnetise that one, the one that makes a deceiver and a corruptor, says Bonclodger. That's what I did. So you can do one. Mm-hmm. And with enough magnets, there's always a way, says Full Griever. And then Agnos has put a link in, thank you, to a fully magnetised one. So that might be quite useful, actually, as a link. I wonder who put that. Who's done that? Who's that Pokemon? It's been done by... I can't believe I turned the stream off. It's been done by Zoomster or someone. That might be a cool thing to share out on Twitter or into our Discord. Oh, he has magnetised all of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So many magnets.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, okay. Well, so there is a way to do it. But God knows
whether
how.
you want to.
Yeah, whether you want to. Yeah. And also, they're from different clans. Oh, not that should let it affect you, personally. But yeah, I think I'm going to paint up the Corruptor and the Seer. Sorry, the Corruptor and the Warp Seer first. Probably don't want to paint many others, but then the Deceiver will be next on my list. In my opinion, those are the top 3 for gaming. They're the most competitive.
The Deceiver, the Assassin.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He's really, really cool. I might paint him pink. That's right, anti-assassin. That's what I'm going to paint him as, anti-assassin. The War, High Hook and Pin, the Warbringer is no slouch. He's pretty decent. Dude, our day. Yes. Yeah, I just pressed the wrong button. I've never done that before. I've never just turned the stream off as an accident. It's clearly not very bright today. That's fine. That's fine. What do you guys think of this? 3 foot fabulous? Look at the colours, so contrasting. This green's great. I'm using Moot Green if anyone's interested. On the instead of Warpstone Glow. Just going straight for the brightest green I can find. So I imagine highlighting this will be a bit of an issue, but fuck it.
It is.
What, highlighting Moot Green?
Yeah.
Why is it the brightest green?
Pretty much.
Okay. Does that mean that you then highlight with some other colour then?
Fluoro.
Huh? What? Oh right, okay. So does that mean I can't actually highlight it?
No, you can.
Right.
It's just that in order to get a highlight that you're happy with, is finding the paint to mix with it to make the higher.
I would actually say that I'd be happy with any highlight.
Okay. Just lob some white in it, I'm sure it'd be fine.
Full Greenman says, wash it down with highlight. Wash it down and then highlight back up to Moot Green. That's smart. Datcom says, if it's Skaven, you highlight green with yellow. Is that a thing? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. Cheers, Datcom. Also, question for Datcom specifically. Have you watched The Umbrella Academy right now because you look like someone who really likes My Chemical Romance? Hashtag, please stay subscribed. That guy just sat there like, why are you attacking me in this way? And LV says, with the G-Cock coming in at 400 points, do you think he's a decent ally for Nighthaunt? I know he's not as powerful out of the buffs, but still gives Nighthaunt a decent monster. Potentially. Thanks, Rob. I have watched it. Did you like it? I would say that, maybe good ally for Nighthaunt. I think you're moving away from Nighthaunt's strength, though. In that, what you want with Nighthaunt is as many as many unrendable saves as possible, in my opinion. Do they lack punch? Maybe they do lack punch. Maybe you're right. They probably lack punch. The G-Cot's just dumb. He's just dumb good. Good in every army. There. Rob can say this now. He has lost his new model army roadie look. Rob can say this now. He's lost his new model army roadie look. Oh, my look. Oh, yeah. Because I looked like a tramp before. I like my style. Thanks, Xtab. Hook and Pin, I'll be watching The Umbrella Academy, so spoiler free. Don't worry, we're not going to mention anything. Chris, have you watched it?
Oh,
it's pretty good. But most importantly, it was the comic it's based on.
I'll add it to the list.
Was written by the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. Has that taken it off the list?
I'll watch one.
Yeah? Okay, good. My Chem are great, man. Don't let anyone bring you down. The Muffin Mon. I just started watching you guys a few months ago, but just wanted to say thanks for so much great content. You guys are the reason I'm saying to AOS. Cheers, The Muffin Mon. Also, The Muffin Mon, are you named after a Digimon based on a muffin? That would be cool. Did you ever watch Digimon, Chris?
Yes, I did.
Fucking Digimon, digital monsters.
Digimon are the champions.
Are the champions! Or highlight with Gauss Green. Cheers, all by Phil. I will. Umbrella Academy is a great soundtrack. When I was a young boy, my father took me to Games Workshop to see. If I could sing, we should do a cover of that song, but about the miniatures from Warhammer. Took me to Games Workshop to see a blue marine. He said, someday I'll lend you Primaris and take you to the summer. I don't know the rest of the words, but I'll try. I'll try and sing that for you. LOV, please take Skaven to Adepticon. Can't go over there and let Team UK down. I'm taking the Chaos Dwarves LOV because I don't want to let the stats down. That's what I'm taking. I'm really excited about going to Adepticon, Chris.
Yeah?
Fuck yeah. Like, I've been working at all of the events, right? Like, so this weekend, I've got no event on, and we discussed whether or not I might. But then I've got Blood Tithe, and then a week, and then I'm in Adepticon. And I'm just going to get... So Blood Tithe, I'm obviously doing the coverage as well. So what I'm going to get to do is actually play like 4 straight days of Warhammer. It's going to be so fun.
Sweet.
And I might... Currently, I'm taking the Chaos Dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can get a dumb Skaven list that I'm happy with, then I might take a dumb Skaven list. Like, that's got like 12 casting values and is just absolutely insane and just fuck with every American's head. I'll just be like, I'm casting 11 spells. And they'll be like, I don't know what to do now. And then I just want to put out like 8 endless spells on the first turn and be like, your turn. Well, I can only put 6 out max. And I'll be like, your turn, sir. And they'll be like, I don't know what to do. Because that sounds really fun, personally.
I like your style.
Yeah, that would be cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rob, please take carry case. Funny story, my dad did that, bastard now buys models from my shop. Says Griffo, talking about being taken to a Games Workshop. Want a hint on painting? I do dye at no Titan edition, especially the way you paint. Is it paint straight out of the pot? Here's why I like... I am painting right out of the pot right now.
Is he new?
Huh? Oh, yeah, Dino Titan. No, he's not new. He's not new. I think he just has hope for me as a painter.
No, there is no hope.
What?
Not true. You want to learn.
I do want to learn. And I think I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using a lot thinner paints on this model than I normally would. So I don't know if that gives you guys hope for me. One day, I promise to enter a model into Golden Demon. Notice that anyone can enter, and there are no requirements or stipulations. But I am going to enter, and that'll be enough, right?
Yes, whatever your goals are, isn't it?
Just to enter, not win.
Well.
Now, always use a wet palette. See, the colour doesn't get thick that way. Show me the model. Chris is using a wet palette, aren't you, Chris?
I am using a wet palette, yeah.
Look how bright this guy is. He's the coolest. Vermin Lords are amazing. Jim, the black coach, has taken a back seat to the back coach because he's too scary to paint. I don't want to paint him because he's too scary. Chris, do you ever get that with models?
Nah.
I do. It's too scary to paint, so I don't want to paint it. So I'm out. I refuse to play it. But I'm well up for painting this Skaven. Well up for it. And all the Skaven spells. It's perfect. The colours are bright. On the fur, I'd even start brighter. See, there's a little trick to getting good result quick. I'm going to do... Mine's going to be so... Yours is going to be so dark, Chris. Mine's going to be so bright.
Yeah, well, I like the way it's coming in.
Yeah, it looks great. At the minute, I'm just blocking in colour just to see if it looks okay, and then I'll do all the other stuff afterwards. I think that's what it's called. Is it called blocking in colour? No?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Just making decisions. And then I'll see where I'm at afterwards. I love this green, though. This green's super cool.
That's the green on my Harleys.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I'm using Moot Green, if anyone's interested what green I'm using. But it's really vivid, and I'm a big fan of it. But there's a really vivid range of paints from Vallejo, isn't there?
The fluoros?
Yes. Insanely bright, aren't they?
They are. Over the top.
You think too much?
Yeah. You'd use them for like spell effects or glowy eyes or lens highlights or something like that.
You wouldn't use it for a whole model?
I'm not sure I'd go whole model with one of those.
Well, let's try next week.
Sweet.
let's do the warp serum only. Wouldn't the warp serum just like psychedelic colours be cool? Like Blade Runner-esque, or what's that? You know, like neo sci-fis where they've got like all the oh god, as a streamer I should really be more commanding with my words.
Narrow it down.
Neon. There we go.
Yeah.
You know, like neon sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Like a cyberpunk. The Cyberpunk's the game I'm thinking of as well. I'd like to do a cyberpunk army, I think. What do you think would be a good cyberpunk army to paint up? Question to the chat. What do you think? Chris, how have you made
the Necromunda gang, haven't you? That have got all the punk hair and all that kind of...
Oh, the ladies?
Morlocks, is it?
No, they're the...
Morlocks?
No, they're the other ones.
I can't remember.
They're Van Saar.
Van Saar, is it?
Potentially. Get some colour shift metallics for the warps here. Chris, do you want to paint the warps here and just do insanity? Just go
mad.
Go insane.
On, like acid tripping.
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do that one, and I'll do this guy, and I'll do all the.
So if I just start off by just base coating him in some crazy colour shifting paint.
Yeah. I think that's a good... Well, don't you also then want to do the crazy bright neon colours on top as well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll put those in too. We'll just make it so horrific that everyone will just be like, what the fuck?
No, try and make it... I don't know, try and make it a thing, I think. But I think it would be cool.
Not sure how you'd make that a thing.
You don't think you're not convinced, are you?
Does it come across?
Yeah. Well, the best crazy colour scheme painter that I've seen, LLV's just talking about in the chat, Louise Sugden. She works for Forge World. Mm-hmm. Her, if you guys check her out on Instagram or check her out on Twitter, I'm sure one of the guys can link it. She only does absolutely bonkers bright painting.
Okay.
And it's exceptional. Really good. And she paints a variety of armies. She's got an orc army. She's got a goblin army. But just absolutely wild.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Oh, Debro1521. He's come in and said some lovely things. You are garbage and this is trash. I can't believe my dad's in the chat. Yeah, I've missed him. Dr. Bro 1521.
Sweet.
Yeah. Where are those overbearing mods right now? So I think this is looking pretty sweet now. Look at that. What do you think? At a distance.
That's cool.
3 foot pretty. Yeah? Yeah, I'm
might just melt the white back a bit with some washing. That'll look cool.
Yeah, I think it'll look really cool. Personally. But we will see. Cheers, dudes. So, what's everyone else hobbying while we're doing this? That's my question.
So I'm getting well too into painting this.
Oh yeah,
forgetting.
Let's see. Let's get an update, Chris. Send it to us. Do-do-do. Oh man, that looks great.
So
Just pull it back a tiny bit so it'll focus. There we go. Wow. That looks really nice. It's such a cool kit, right?
So yeah, going through and trying to do black hair, so without making it look like it's grey.
There you go. And I didn't turn the stream off, which was the key part there of doing the transition.
You're well good at that.
I think I've got better over time, realistically. All boy Phil waiting for my Noxide to dry on WLC. Oh, nice. I want to see that. I'm adding candles to Primaris Space Marines. Why? Why are you adding candles to them?
To make them chaosy.
Yeah. Heinrad, I'm basing Geminids I painted during yesterday's stream. Oh, nice. You're sticking them in your army so that you can go... you go 3 and 2, Heinrad, 3 and 2. Greco, hi bro, how you doing? I hope you're good. Yeah. So, okay, look at Discord. The first cleaver shows the base colour of grey. Right, I'm on it. Let's have a look. Okay. Oh my god, Dino Titans Edition is going to turn me into an actual painter. That's too good. What are you going to do then, Chris? What are you going to do when I've got training?
Don't know. Just paint some models, probably.
Okay. That seems fine. That seems absolutely okay.
Don't
Fishes on
measure
flesh.
yourself against other people. Measure yourself against yourself.
Oh, that's very good. Okay, I'll do that. That sounds far healthier. That sounds far healthier. I'm really chuffed with this green, actually. I actually think that this colour's coming out really nicely, which I was not expecting. TYT Binks, thanks for subscribing. That's very cool of you. It's very nice. And then some people have put Louise Sugden's Twitch in there. Wow. There's a very, 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 very cool painter who's just been linked in the chat called Kaha Katrinsky Goska from Poland. Is fucking insane, the paint job on that. Wow. Hey JJ number 10. Wow, that is some wild paint jobs. Same technique applied to the whole model I posted in last picture. That's crazy good. That's crazy good. My thing is getting these models on the tabletop, so I'm not super stressed about. I'm one of those people that just want all the lines to be done. Like all the painting the lines and get them on the table is my kind of tactic, and that's what I'm going to aim to do, realistically.
That's right.
Yeah. So this is why I'm doing this. Woohoo! That's pretty sweet looking, I think. That's pretty sweet looking. Yeah. Oh, so it's a lady. Sorry, that paint job is done by a lady. So everyone's pointing out that I've got that wrong. And it's been done by a lady and not by a boy. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to assume their gender. I just didn't know what Polish names were. Yeah. So I'm concentrating on the paint job. If you guys have got any questions, please ask. That would be cool. All right. Yeah, JJ, I'm painting up some Skaven because you've inspired me. Me and Chris are both painting up some Skaven, actually. So there you go. But I'm
definitely not the easiest model to paint.
It's pretty challenging, right? There's loads of detail though, which is cool.
Mainly just the fact that how to hold it without impaling yourself on any of the spikes.
There are plentiful amounts of spikes.
It's like trying to paint a hedgehog.
Huh?
It's like trying to paint a hedgehog.
No, I think it's a cool model, man.
It's cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool. I'm looking forward to painting the grey seers, even though they're little and that kind of stresses me out a little bit. I'm not looking forward to painting up a bunch of clan rats, but no one ever is, I don't think. But it could be very fun, depending on how quickly I can get them done. And then apparently you need an XL Citadel handle, Chris.
It's got no base on it.
Put it on a base, right?
I have a handle.
You have a handle. And you're just handling it.
I'm cradling it.
Storm Vermin are great. I'd like to paint some of those as well, I think, at some point. I've got quite a few, so that could be a cool addition next. This is probably going to be the army I play after the Chaos Dwarves. This is why I'm painting them up for the year after. So I don't feel in any particular rush to get them done. So you guys are going to be able to join us on our Skaven journey over the next few months as we try and get them sorted. But it would also be nice to get them done fairly sharpish to start playing games with them. But I'm not too stressed about it either way. Especially as I think I'm going to go really elite, so I don't have to paint up too many Horde models, unless I think it's necessary for the victory. Datcom, clan rats are easy. They are small enough that you can get them done well quick. Owns 200. Wow, and you paid 160. Man, that's really impressive. Very, very impressive. JJ, you should have seen my Friday night before slaughter was one more hobby mode, frantically painting up new spells and terrain. Yeah. Great to see Rob having solidly competitive force. Great to see Rob having a... LOV, interested to see how I'll do with an actual competitive army. I'm a little bit scared. But I really want to just... I want to just fuck people up with endless spells. And then just trigger them. That's my plan. Because I think still a lot of people are like not into the endless spell game. And I think the Skaven have got the option to do it, so I'm just going to go balls deep on it and just wreck. My Adepticon army was going to be, well, for the doubles, was at one point going to be Skaven and Tzeentch together. But then we decided we're going dwarves instead, because no one's going to know what to do against dwarves, because no one's ever seen them. They're just going to try and run away.
You doubling with Nath?
No, I'm doubling with a man called Tom from Warhammer Weekly. So he's a pretty famous AOS dude.
Cool.
And we're going to go wreck some face, which is going to be very fun. Yeah. Although 1,000 points is a little bit tough with the Chaos Dwarves, so I don't have a very dynamic army, but it should still be a fun weekend.
What dwarves is he taking?
He's taking Kharadron Overlords.
Okay.
And I'm taking Chaos Dwarves. Which I told Nathan yesterday, and he got super triggered. He was like, no, they can't ally together. That doesn't make any sense.
Didn't expect him to be a fluff bunny.
Huh?
Didn't expect him to be a fluff bunny.
Who, Nathan?
Yeah.
He's a massive fluff bunny.
Oh.
He loves the narrative. There's no way he would ever ally a good guy dwarf force with a bad guy dwarf force. It's just not in his... You doing some shows over there, or will we skip a week? That's a great question, Scrivo. Let's work it out. If you guys are interested, tomorrow night, during the show, there is going to be the Swedish show is going to be back. Obviously, John's got his art show in the day, and in the evening, Jonathan is going to be joined doing the Swedish Age of Sigmar show again. If you guys are excited and interested in that,
is it with the same guy?
I don't know. No, it's not. It's with a guy called Oscar Lyles, who's an incredible painter. If you guys are interested, and Oscar's also really funny and upbeat, so you guys should have a fun time with that. If you guys are interested, so I was rocking 3 endless spells at Slaughter, and I did all right. That's fun. I read considered endless spells after I lost all but 4 priority rolls at the weekend. Try and force them to make a choice. Yeah, that's basically what you get to do. How are we feeling about getting Adepticon stats? I've had a guarantee from the person who runs Adepticon that you're going to get the stats LV. If that makes you feel any better. Not from Alex, who is in charge of AOS, but the man who runs Adepticon. So I spoke to his boss. But that's only because Alex put him forward, if that helps you. I had a game on Warhammer TV with the rats about a month ago, so finally got them all onto rounds and painted. 5 days after the game, the new book got announced. Oh, you would have thought they would have told you while you were there. Just be like, oh, the new Skaven book's out soon. Get excited. That would have been quite fun. Gene Stealer Corpse Codex came out. FAQ came out today. Is that going to be something we'll talk about on Thursday? Yeah. They didn't change any of the bad stuff. So all the Gene Stealer guys are super happy. Right. When will salty Swedish Adam get his own slot on the Honest Wargamer? I don't know. Do you guys want him to have his own slot on the Honest Wargamer? That's my question. If you guys are excited about it, then we can 100% sort that out, I think. Or we can ask him anyway if he's busy. I don't know if he's chasing yaks down or whatever else he's up to.
Chanting in the woods.
Well, he is the best AOS player in the world, so he is a busy guy a lot of the time. Would have been nice, but they left me to be ravaged on TV by L'Oreal. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. That's not fun at all. The only game where my opponent managed to cast another spell, I won. Oh. Endless spells are great, I think, changing up the game realistically. So, fuck, this green's gone all over my white paint. Shit. Should have done it the other way around. No. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There we go. Just get him. Just do small segments, thoughts from Adam. Okay, we can sort that out. Look at that. What do you guys think? It's very green. You like it?
That's cool.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's sweet as. So I'm very, very big fan of this ball. Big fan. It's the Green Ratty Ranger. Oh no, I've just realised he looks like the Green and the White Rangers mixed together.
They've had a love child.
Okay. I wish I would be able to paint good like Rob. That's just mean. That's mean. Okay. That's alright, whatever. This is the base layers. I'm just blocking it in at the minute. I'm blocking it in. I've seen that as a sentence. You say blocking it in a lot. Yeah? Until you do blocking it in, then you clean it up, then you wash it, and then you do your highlights, right? That's painting. Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I got an agreement.
I don't do so much of the washing part anymore, but yep.
You don't wash stuff?
No.
Why?
Because I like to work from a dark base layer and then highlight up.
You lunatic. Surely that's the way it takes...
This is a character, though. I wouldn't do it on, like, 120
clan rats.
Clan rats. That would be, like, fucking mental.
Okay, alright. Well, I wouldn't do it on anything.
Then I'd mainly use an airbrush, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not good for streaming, I don't think, the airbrush.
It might be a
bit loud.
Be interesting, though, with these mics.
Yeah, potentially. I think
still a bit too loud.
I'm really looking forward to trying these mics out in the wild so that they don't pick up any of the background noise from when we're doing our live streaming. I'm also excited to do it with Nathan when he's just doing this and out of the way. It's going to be fun.
It's just there. Like,
just not being involved.
in the mic and...
Bum, 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 ba-da-bum, bum. Right. I think this is going quite well. I'm starting to talk like a Skaven. That's my new strategy. Yeah. Do paint, good job.
Do.
Me say many few words. Me save time.
Go like full method actor on it.
I'm just going to be like the American Office. Me speak very little. No, me speak little. Me save time. Can you believe? Did you watch? Have you watched Hot Fuzz?
Yes.
So the guy from Hot Fuzz is the Hound in Yarp in Hot Fuzz. He's the Hound in Game of Thrones.
Well, he's quite a big fellow, isn't
he? Yeah, but like he's like Yarp, and then he's like, I'm the Hound, and then I hadn't realised, and then I was like, oh shit, yeah. Rob paint good, paint good, make colour quick. He's looking. There you go, Chris. Show the camera. I think these guys look great. I'm all about this life. Yeah, he's looking cool. It's getting there. I've still got to do all the washes and everything, but I'm chuffed with that. I'll take that.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, it's bright, but I'm not finished. Yes, cheers, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. British actor in the Game of Thrones, shock horror. Man, it's because British actors are the best actors. I think. Because, yeah, I don't really know loads of British actors. I don't really know many actors' names. What are you painting there, Chris? How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Just trying to work out colours.
What colours you thinking of working out?
I quite like the idea of doing some copper. So, because the hair's doing my head in and I can't focus with my eyes.
Well, what's wrong with the hair? Is it too close? What's wrong with the hair?
It's alright, I just need to think about it a bit better. But
have you painted lots of fantasy stuff?
No.
Do you think it's quite different to the 40k stuff?
Well, these are quite different to like Marines.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I was going to say.
I'd say that it's just the like spindly awkwardness is probably on par with like Harlequins.
Yes.
And like some detail work that you do on that. But yeah, I quite like this guy.
You quite like him?
Yeah, I think he's quite cool. If I was to do it myself, I may not do him all in one piece because he's quite awkward to.
He is very awkward to paint. Yeah.
This tail especially. If you could not attach that, that would be great.
Would that be super helpful? Would you find that quite good?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll take that under advisement. Thanks very much.
Might just bring the saw in and just take his tail off.
Put it back on.
Magnetise it back on.
What's JJ saying? In game 1 of the weekend, when my Greyseer cast the Vortex then died, I made sure to deploy him after the Incanter went down, so he was out of unbound range, out of 30 inch of the Arcanum too. Yeah, it's like you can keep JJ. I think you're right. You can keep the your Skaven casters really far out realistically, and you also cast on such a high value. So I am so looking forward to running a Skaven army. I really am. Really am. And it's nice that I'm going from Chaos to apparently I'm sticking inside the Chaos faction realistically. So going from Chaos Dwarves into more Chaos, which I didn't really tout myself as a Chaos player. I used to play loads of Order. I used to play Mixed Order and I used to play Sylvaneth. But then I also have played a few tourneys with Destruction as well. So I have flitted around. I've never played with Death at a tournament. And I think it's because I just find it a little bit non-interesting because it doesn't have any shooting. And I like shooting. It gives me mobility that I don't really get from it gives me mobility which I like. Don't drink the paint water, Chris, says Dirty Gobbo.
Yeah, I nearly did.
Oh, so close.
I was too busy reading the chat.
OJ says, any tips on decent metallic paint range? Chris, this is down to you. I'm finding Games Workshop too claggy and thick.
Yeah, I like the Metal Colour series from...
Talk to the mic.
Vallejo.
I like that. That was good. From Vallejo. Yeah.
I can't find any at the moment, but they're really good. Also, the Scale 75 ones are really good. They do a big range of colours. Some of the model colour ones aren't too bad. You've got a copper there, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a copper. Yeah, I've got this copper. Yeah, these look really, really good. Dino Titan Edition, whatever you just said sounds great. He's just said, Rob, if you promise to on the stream to play in Blood Bowl, I will play in Blood Bowl. So I can make a mini match report for my blog. I will do this. I'll paint you up a Skaven. Sweet! 25mm base. Can't be too big due to the other stuff that's in the pipe. Can I have... Oh, I don't know. Can I get back to you on it? That sounds fun. Yes, please. I'll play some Blood Bowl. You don't even have to paint me up a Skaven, but I'll take the Skaven too if you're interested.
I will not say no.
I will not say no. I will not say no. Because you've got there's some cool little character models that would be fun to be painted by not me. Specifically, I think a Greyseer would be cool, but also an Arch Warlock would be quite cool, but they're metal, and that's gross. Not into that.
Greyseer would be cool because you're taking 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah, so it'd be cool to have someone else to be painting one up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll play Blood Bowl against you, bruv. No problem. I'll just say touchdown a lot and scream. Yeah. As long as I can wear a cheerleader's outfit while I play. Yeah, and then
I'm going to talk to you like I've got a touch over and this is a touchdown and a turnover and get what? You've got these other things. I'm going to throw the ball deep. and then I'll bring on a foul.
Skaven a badass in Blood Bowl. Fucking cool. I didn't know. Is there a Skaven Shadespire crew? No. I can't get obsessed with Skaven. I can't get obsessed with Skaven.
There is a Shadespire.
Shit. No. I think everyone will keep... I think Skaven's going to be a super popular army anyway, but I don't mind that. That doesn't stress me out. I don't mind when other people play my army. I'm just going to play it a little bit different, I think. It's going to be my key. Spikeclaw Swarm. Nice. So I need to go check them out. What's that?
That's the one I was looking for. The metal colour ones. They're really good.
So these are from Vallejo?
There's quite a limited range of them, but they're really, really, really good paints. The gives a really nice finish and don't get that
bitty
lumpiness.
So that's instead of Games Workshop paints. I'm going to tell everyone now that my plan in the future is to not use Games Workshop paints anymore. Because
some of them you should do. Like the washes and stuff like that are actually really good.
Okay, yeah. And I more meant the base paints and everything else, and I've got a couple of reasons as to why. Most importantly, they don't keep very well. I've got a couple of drawers
That's the pot design.
Yeah, I've got a lot of paint down there which you've seen, and you guys were laughing at me last week about it. And
well, it was like trying to paint with Marmite.
Yeah, I agree. But all I've done is just put the lid back on and kept it in a fine environment, and then it's just dried up and gone to waste. And I feel like, and they're expensive too. So I just don't see why. And they don't pour out well, they don't keep well, and they're more expensive than everything else. So I don't really see why I would use them in the future. And I wish it's something I'd have known going in, because I've started to paint a lot of armies with their paints.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I've actually done myself a disservice because I didn't know. I know that sounds a bit strong, but I'm just trying to just be honest about it. And every painter I talk to doesn't use the paints.
No, pretty much.
So, yeah.
Mainly for all the reasons that you've just said.
Yeah. which as an army painter, so as a painter for gaming, it's taken me a long time to get to that stage because I'm not a painter. Whereas I'm sure early on you guys would have done loads of research into painting and would have been like, oh, actually everyone who I listen to keeps suggesting I don't use these paints. I think it's
also the fact that it's the stuff that's there when you start.
Yeah.
So you get your models, you probably get the paints that go along with it. I mean, they now do those sets, don't they, for...
yeah, you get both.
Legion, so you can go through and have them all there for their... the Duncan and Peachy videos. Completely lost where I'm going.
Chris, you can talk. We're talking to you all day. You've got the words. What's the word you say, brother?
Just don't seem to be able to work out how to speak anymore.
I've never had that problem.
I don't talk good. I can't find any more.
I want to convert the new Skaven AOS hero into my thrower with the Doom Rocket as a ball projector like a computer game, says OJ. All right, that's fun. And then JJ says, glad to hear you playing Skaven, Rob. They're super fun and interesting. They are very strong, but people shouldn't confuse that with being easy to play. So many synergies popping around that if you aren't careful with your placement, units will be deleted. Really exciting to improve them over the next few years. Yeah, JJ, I'm with you, bro. I think a year of playing these guys will improve my gaming. So that's what I'm looking to do. That's what I've been looking to do with my Chaos Dwarves. And Chris, I know that's what you're doing with your Space Wolves, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So instead of just moving on to Eldar, you're like, I like these guys, I'm going to try and make them work.
Yep.
And I'm almost certain that's what Heinrad's doing with Daughters of Cain. But slightly different learning curve there. But still a learning curve that he's on. So...
everyone's on their own journey.
Exactly.
Some just take longer journeys than others.
So much so. I'm looking forward. Am I looking forward to the Corn book? Don't know. Am I looking forward to the Black Legion book? Yes, I am. I'm very excited about that.
There won't be a book.
Huh?
There won't be a book.
There's going to be an entire codex, Black Legion codex.
No, it'll be a Vigilus book.
You don't think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's find out. That's exciting.
Well, it's less exciting if it's just a Vigilus book.
I think it'll be a codex, personally. Well, the whole idea was if I do badly, then it obviously is down to me, not the army. I mean, that's a good test. Take the most broke army in the game, and then that's what Speckles did. Speckles only managed 3 wins with Fleshy Accords. I've been trying the same with my knights. I think I might have to break with my Monodex tradition and put in some Admech Battalion and assassins to be able to compete at a higher level. That's good, Hermanista, but at least you know where you're at, right?
I think that's not to do with necessarily the player. I think the game doesn't really favour mono faction.
What you mean?
On the
40k?
Yeah.
I don't think it does it either. Jim980's got a question for you, Chris.
Yep.
Do you have any tips on brush care and cleaning?
Not that you'd want to follow.
Why?
Because I don't do any. I just dip it into a thing, lick it, and stick it back in the box.
Oh, okay. And is that fairly standard?
No, you can go through and use like brush soap.
Okay. Do people do that?
Those that care, yes.
So is that you?
Not really.
Do you just buy more brushes?
I've done fairly well with these. I don't generally get the paint up to the fuller.
Okay.
That's the meta bit.
So up to there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something Jonathan taught me. Jonathan made me buy really big brushes when he came over, and then he was like, "Look, the end of the brush is still as thin as the end of any other brush." And I was like, "Oh, that makes loads of sense." So now I can paint kind of the bigger things that I used to without putting as much paint on. So that it really improved my painting.
So yeah, you can get like soaps in little tubs that you go through and get the brush and give it a good
rubbing,
like clean out. But I'm lazy, so
you don't tend to do it.
Nah.
Okay. How long do your brushes last? Says Pokey John.
Not too bad. I still have most of mine. The only ones the original ones that I started with, which were GW brushes, and they've died.
They've died?
Yeah, but that was 18 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So.
I tend to go through brushes quite quickly, but I think I'm probably this is I used to go through brushes quite quickly. I think I'm not using them as much as I once was. I'm not abusing them as much as I once was. I used to cake them in paint, and I think I'm getting a little bit better than that now. So they're starting to last a little bit longer, but I've stopped buying Games Workshop brushes because I find them prohibitively expensive, realistically. And also, I don't tend to paint anything beyond doing base colours and washes. So I just I go to a local hobby store and just buy like their cheap set of paint brushes, and I have fine results because I'm not doing anything detailed. If I was going to get some detailed work done, I'd probably get a detailed brush. So that's my tactic. Rosemary & Co brushes really helped me up my game, says Lubinsky. Series 7.
Essentially what these ones are.
And Series 7 is top notch, says Dino Titan. Winsor Newton lasts 4 years now, and I pretty much use them a lot on every money. Then Lubinsky's Series 33 is recommended by Sword Astro. Is that a painter chap? Or chapess? If you guys are interested,
right, okay.
I'm using a Vallejo paint. I am using Model Color Vallejo, and I am using copper on this guy because I'm seeing if I like that, but I think I don't, and I think I want to do silver. What do you think? It's on the arm.
Yeah, silver.
We both agree. That's a shame, but thankfully I've got myself some silver Vallejo, which is cool. So yeah, if you guys
have a look at that copper,
go and stick it under the camera, and everyone can have a judge. But then I ended up with a bumblebee last time, so I don't trust it. So that's the copper I was going to use on all the metal. What do you guys think? Or are you against it? That's my question. Should I go for silver instead? Chris, what do you think?
I think I'm on the silver, to be honest.
I think I'm on the silver too. Yeah. So yeah, I'm on the silver. I'm not into that. It's not really going the way I want. So, cheers. Cheers, bro. I appreciate that lots. Yeah. Copper is skin stay. The skin is staying white. Yes. So Hermanus says one £10 China clone airbrush has won me 3 best painted awards at GT Heat 3, League of Nights, and a couple of local awards. Can't really argue with that, can you?
That's good.
Almost everything is better than Games Workshop brushes, though, says the Holy Tyrant. I agree with that. You need to wash the copper. I think I'm going to do silver instead. I think copper was a nice idea.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think silver might get lost, though.
What are you doing with the fur?
I'm gonna wash it and then I'm gonna highlight it up from where it is. That's the plan. So Jazzy128 wants to say something. Hi Rob, okay, it's to break the hobby talk. It's fine. You're always welcome. I just listened to Monday's FEC talk. The Geist King is really something. I've always been in the camp that points can take care of most things, but how do you point something that can kill an entire armies by itself, i.e. Ironjaws and other non-shooting armies? I'm a bit disturbed by the 2 new tomes. They make the older tome armies look incredibly dated, not to speak of non-tome armies.
We spoke about this.
Yeah. What did you, I explained it to you earlier, Chris. How did you feel about it when I explained it to you?
That it's just ridiculous.
Ridiculous?
Yeah.
Yes.
A model that can have that kind of output, being able to fight twice, and you can have 3 of them, all fighting before you can even do anything.
Yeah. I think that's the interaction that's a little bit dark, is the fighting before you can do something. That's what I find a little bit disturbing, realistically. But Jazzy, I think you're okay to feel that way. But I wouldn't panic. I think things like Ironjaws are going to get a new battle tome because they got a battle tome before Sylvaneth, so that would mean that their Sylvaneth is the cut-off point, by the way, for kind of older battle tomes versus new battle tomes. And then I would argue, I think you're right to feel a little bit disturbed, but I wouldn't worry because everything will balance itself out. When it comes to it, and if not, what will happen is the community will deal with it if it's too strong, because that's just what tends to happen. That said,
take him out back and give him a good kick.
Yeah, yeah. That said, like there were some broken in-game. There's been some broken in-game units at certain points during AOS so far, like Vanguard Wing when it occurred. And that didn't really get fixed for like 7 months or so. So there's a there's a general handbook on the way in the summer. So that's not too long. So that'll be points changes as well. And we still haven't had the FAQ yet. So they might change some of it quite soon. So I wouldn't stress too much personally. But I think you're right to feel that they seem stronger than everything else because that's how I feel. But I don't want to. I don't want anyone to like be disheartened because I feel that there's ways that we can be cleverer and beat it, which is key, right? It's a challenge to beat as opposed to feel disheartened by. Just be like, right, okay. If you're Ironjaws, it's probably a challenge that's going to be almost impossible to beat, but you give it a go, I guess. JJ says the G-Cart wouldn't be too bad if it was a glass hammer with that damage, but they are difficult to kill too, even more so when they get a 5+ ignore save spell off. Yeah. At this point, isn't General's Handbook 19 already written? It will be .com, so that's a good point. Jazzy, I'm mostly worried that the model will lead to so many bad play experiences. It's not a list that is problematic; it's a single model. I really hope it's not as bad as it sounds. I think you're right though. To be honest. And if we look at the list that won at the weekend at the Sheffield Slaughter, that's an army that is a bad play experience realistically, because it just floods you with really, really good stuff. And a lot of the really high-end competitive armies tend to be that way. I find the Nagash spell, where he just murders anything he wants to with Hand of Dust, I think that's kind of fun holding the dice out for your opponent, but I think in reality, I find it quite obnoxious in play. So there are already some experiences like that, but
could he do that to the kumquat?
You can do that to the kumquat.
That would be funny.
It would be, but there's 2 kumquats normally. That's the issue.
Yeah, but only one of them can fight first.
That's true. That's really true. And there are spells that stop them from being able to do that. And there might be army books in the future, and there are some hard counters. So there are things like, there are spells, and there are characters, and there are units. So you've got things like Itchy Nuisance, and you have things like Wrathmongers, and you have things like Morathi that's going to be able to impede and slow them down. And they also have to fight each other as well, which is another saving grace, that they have to beat each other up. So eventually you'll have to find a way to slow them down. But yeah, High Hook and Pin, the 1/1 Larny kumquat is so broken. I think we will see lots of them in the future. Dudade, agreed. Like I feel like I was a little bit cautious with what I said yesterday, Chris, on the show, because obviously I understand loads of people listen to the show, and what I don't want people to do is be like panicked and not want to play Warhammer anymore.
Yeah,
but it is dumb. It's dumb strong, and I hope I showed that when I just made Nathan roll the dice yesterday. Like it's just dumb strong. But so there we go. It's a sad day when we start routing for Daughters of Cain. And then Jazzy says, yeah, it's just thinking Nagash is a single 800 point. He's not a special character, Jazzy. He's the god of death. Like, you would expect him to be.
He's the specialist of characters.
Yeah, he's up there. Interestingly, the kumquat kills him in a round of combat, just FYI.
Unless he's cast his spell first.
Yes, unless he's cast his spells first. And there's a Slanesh command trait, which makes you fight last on 3+. And Scrivo's just sprayed all of his squigs. So there are options, and I think people are going to have to put those options in their army. The problem is, like we said, Chris, earlier, if you are taking those things in your army, you aren't building against the other problems in the game.
Like Skaven.
Skaven are fine, I think. Skaven are just strong, but they're not like...
They're still at another level strong, though, aren't they? Potentially.
Live WFB, thanks for hosting us. That's cool. That's very cool of you. Thank you. They are potentially... hello, everyone. Very nice to see you. Sweet, a lovely rehost by Live WFB, who was watching the stat show earlier. Nice. He was super keen for the Warhammer stats. If you've just joined us, then I am painting up this Vermin Lord Corruptor, and Chris is also painting up a Vermin Lord Corruptor. There you go. Do you want to show it close, Chris? There's it up close. Oh, you've gone for... Look at our... I'm going to pass you mine. Check out my blades. I've gone for a sweet different colour, which is cool. So yeah, I've gone for a kind of goldy copper colour, and you've gone for an actual copper colour. Yeah, yours is cool. Which copper have you got? The Vallejo one?
No, this is a random one that I found in my box.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
From like one of those like monthly hobby things that I started
subscribing to.
Yeah, but ages ago I cancelled it.
Oh.
So this is Darkstar.
Darkstar paints. Yeah, I like this goldy colour that I've decided to go for.
So it's quite nice.
Yeah. Oh, a Vermin Lord off. Yeah, we're both painting up our Vermin Lords because we're gonna hobby up a Skaven army together. So one of the things that we've decided to do, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but we're gonna paint up squads or like units being different colours. So in Age of Sigmar, what might happen is you might paint up 3 lots of 30 of a unit. Which can get a bit mind-numbing and also can sometimes be a little bit difficult to separate on the tabletop when you get into a fight. So I'm going to paint up 30 of something, and then Chris will paint up 30 of something, and then we should be able to not only tell them apart, but we're going to try and also paint armies cohesively at the same time, right?
Yeah. So there'll be a common element between them. and then the rest will all be like free reign, basically.
Yeah. You can join our Discord, guys. If you type !Discord, there'll be pictures up there. It's going to take me a couple of weeks to finish this guy off, I think. I like both Chris's scythes look and Worn. Rob's kinds of rotten. They like carry some illness. Yeah, these guys are plague bearers, in effect. But yeah, I like the idea of painting up different squads, really. Because I don't know if it will lack cohesion, because we haven't actually done it yet, have we?
No.
But we talked about it with my Chaos Dwarfs, didn't we? We said one squad could be like black and could be like the Lords of Smoke or something. The other guys are more red and they could be the Lords of Fire. But it definitely makes them easier to spot on the tabletop. The thing that I've done previously is I've ended up using movement trays and having different color rims for the movement trays. But I think I'd rather paint up the movement trays and just have the units be different colors, realistically. So for non-Warhammer players from my stream, where can we find cool models to view? You can just go on to gamesworkshop.com and see loads on there. Or you can go to Instagram. So all the models that are available to buy are on there. Amy Snuggs. Oh my God, she's a great painter. Thanks for subscribing.
By the way, she followed me.
Yeah, she's a great painter.
Okay.
Yeah. Her Seraphon's one of my favourite armies. Yeah, you can go on gamesworkshop.com and they've got loads of armies painted up there. And my other suggestion would be Instagram. That's a pretty solid place. And you can just type in Warhammer and you'll see some great painting. Nick, have you got any Instagram accounts you want to shout out, Chris?
Andy Wardle.
Andy Wardle from Coat Paint.
Yeah, he's a pretty damn good painter. Mark Masklins, he's very good as well. Trying to think who I've got on Instagram. I follow so many now, you kind of lose track of who's who.
I don't actually follow any. I don't tend to follow many Warhammer accounts on Instagram because I like to have a clear kind of like line. That's the only place I don't really tend to intentionally follow Warhammer stuff. I know it's a great place to, and the Honest Wargamer account does that. I tend to more keep my Instagram for my personal, and then the Honest Wargamer Instagram account, which you can follow if you guys want, but it doesn't have any painting on there. Dude, our day we're getting celeb painters on here now. That's right. What do you think, Amy? What do you think of my Corruptor? Yeah, he looks great, man. He's sweet. I'm well chuffed for this guy. I know, I've hit the big leagues. We've hit the big times, Chris. Sweet. I'm trying to think who would be the coolest painter to come and have watch the stream. I think any painter comes and watch the stream is embarrassing for me. You can actually paint though, Chris, but it's embarrassing when painters come and watch me paint.
Don't know, I've hit a bit of a plateau on my painting at the moment.
Yeah? See, that's what's nice about being a rubbish painter. I've got nowhere but up to go. Yeah, and I'm super chuffed with it. Oh yeah, Terry Pike's an excellent painter, if you want. You can check him out on... he also does great YouTube videos as well. He's got a very specific style. But yeah, he's also a real lovely man. If you want to go check out his painting. I think it's a guy called Terry Pike. He does great painting tutorials as well. There's loads of really good painters out there. Amy Snuggs is great also, but sorry. Why can't I not remember her name? We talked about it earlier. Louise Sugden is one of my favourite painters. Just because she's just great. Also, Vince Ventrella, he's a great painter. Yeah, he does great stuff. Just prodigious. He does a prodigious... Do you follow him?
Don't think I do.
Too much stuff. Yeah. Check out ones and twos on coolminiornot.com. Rob, you're no rookie. Check out the ones and twos on Cool Mini. I don't want to go onto Cool Mini or Not. I go on there and I want to give up, so I refuse.
It's alright, I'm in the 40k converters group on Facebook, and you see some of the absolute atrocities that go on there.
Oh, you can also follow Electric Eve on Instagram. On Twitch. Sorry, she does painting, and she's a former Games Workshop painter. So it used to be her and Duncan, and then she left, and now she's got her own Twitch channel where she does it, and she does amazing painting, and is really fun, engaging channel. If you're a painter, we're we're primarily a gaming channel. We just hang out on a Tuesday because we've got to paint for the gaming. So
It means you don't have to prepare any notes or anything like that. We just wing
that's
it.
the key part. That's the key part. It's a 2-hour show where I could just turn up a waffle, which is key. Whereas the other shows I have to actually do research. And I'm not saying painters have an easy time because they have to research the colour green, what their favourite orange is. Have I been rude enough yet, or shall I move on?
I'll leave that up to you.
Electric Eve is her channel. Yeah, thank you. And Jazzy, Vince paints like 40 hours a week. He hammers the painting out.
Wow.
It's incredible. Yeah. Hi BT Headshots. Finally caught me live. Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. I'm painting. So basically, the thing that scares... I hate it when people join the show and they're like, hey, Rob. And I'm like, this isn't my skills. Stop looking at what I'm doing.
Don't look at me.
Huh?
Don't look at me.
Dino, do you tend to paint just ad hoc? Is that what you do? I definitely go ad hoc. I've just put a bunch of colours out and I'm like, wonder if I knew that I wanted to use a Vallejo metal paint on this model because I've never used their paints and I want to see how different they are to a Games Workshop paint. And so far, really, really, really nice. Super thin, but like, so this blade, if you can see there, I've only done one layer and it's just gone on really, really, really brightly. And I've done a thin layer as well. I've been watering it down. So that's a Vallejo metal paint and it's really good.
I'm not sure I like this one. I'm not sure I like this one.
What, the colour that you've got?
Yeah, it's very... the coverage is rubbish. So it's not going on very even.
Oh, okay. I don't know how a paint goes on uneven, but I believe you 100%. So much. I believe you so much. I'm not going to the heats this weekend, people of the chat, Zangor Jack. Although I could, but I shouldn't. I should have the weekend off. And I should do videos, is what I should do. Don't laugh at me, Chris. I am not going to turn up to a tournament this weekend.
I'll see you there on Saturday then.
No, I'm not going. I refuse. I'd like to go. Chris, using copper.
Yeah.
Elvie says you need to go over brown, apparently.
Yeah, that would have been easier.
Yeah. Hey, Down Under Network. What's saying? I need to keep the Legion numbers up. No, I can't go to a tournament this weekend. That'll be my 9th weekend of Warhammer in a row, which is just bonkers. Like, it's just, I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. But then the weekend after that, I'm at the Blood Tithe team tournament doing the coverage there. And then the weekend after that, I think I'm in Adepticon. Just, there's no bloody time. No bloody time. I've got to wash. I've got to do washing.
That's the GT finals.
Huh?
And then the week after that, you've got the 40k GT final.
Oh my god! What 40k?
Yeah, it's like 26th or something, is it?
Jesus, Joseph and Mary. All right, I might as well go this weekend, right? I might just give in to the burn.
Man up.
The biggest problem that I have with going to the GTs, the tournaments at Games Workshop, is that I have to work on the Saturday night, so I tended to have about 3 hours sleep always going into the Sundays, which can be a little bit challenging because everyone's like looking at me and I'm like, hi, everything's really loud.
Whereas everyone else is really hungover.
Yeah. I hope to have the Skaven ready at the start of AOS, the new General's Handbook. So that'll be July. That should be July, roughly. If the past few years follow suit. So yeah, having them ready by July would be cool. I mean, I'd like to play some games before then, but realistically, I'm going to try and do a good job on the painting. July is quite far off, though. We should be able to do it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with just one more?
It's too much. By the way, this is how I now talk sometimes. If you guys have never joined us, I say, hey, is that brown you're painting with?
I remember, I haven't seen you in ages. How you doing? Do you get an OG, you're looking a little tired, Rob? Do you get a lot of sleep, OG? You're looking a little tired. Oh. Oh, I've actually had 2 nights sleep. I feel okay. Oh shit. The Decathlon is the weekend before the 3rd of April. I know that, as that's when I was originally meant to be going to Warhammer to be on Warhammer TV. Oh boy, Phil, what were you going to be playing? A Demon Life. Yeah, that's right. ASMR. I don't know what that means, but this the people have made me do.
People have made me do this today, and I don't know what it means.
Well, I've gone against my gut instincts, and I'm running some Tzeentch instead of Beast this weekend. Zangor Jack, you should do it. We literally talked about that earlier. So I'm off to grab some food. Thanks for the entertainment today, and have a good one. Thanks, Live WFB. You've been really cool. Also, if you're interested, we do 40k on Thursday, so you should join us for that. That's fun. Down in the network, I have to paint 100 orcs in 30 days, 3 days for an event. You've got it, brother. Is it Orc Boys? Because I ran that at a tournament just recently, and it was great fun.
Dip 'em.
Huh?
Dip 'em.
Dip 'em, yeah. So is my Skaven army getting any conversions like Tom's Met Guns?
No, because it's awful what Tom has done.
Me and Nikos had to have a conversation on whether or not Tom was allowed back on the show. Because he's evil. I personally think... No, I don't think he should be allowed. Yeah, got some Gretchen. Man, that's a great army. You're going to have so much fun with the orcs. It's really fun watching them kill a unit of 30 boys, knowing that you're going to green tide them in the next turn. They're like, sweet, I've killed 28. And you're like, sweet, they're immune to Battle Shark. And also,
green tide, motherfucker.
Look up. Just looked at Bobo was being held and saw that they had Black Parade. Bloody MC. Oh, GCP, you're painting up a squiggalanch for Bobo. That's cool. Loads of squigs. Loads of fucking squigs. Oh, I want me some squigs in my army.
That'll make Nath very happy.
I'll be like chuffed to see a squiggalanch.
What will happen if there's a game on stream between Gits and Dispossessed? You'll be like,
Nathan would just refuse to commentate on it, or he'll actually just say that they're both great and then just move on.
Everyone's a winner.
Everyone's a winner in that situation. Hermanist, I've got 15 Skitarii and 3 Assassins to paint by Saturday. It's weird using small brush after doing 200 plus pieces of terrain in 2 days. Just use the same brush. I paint the terrain and I paint all the same. Just Vect, Green Tide, or use the new strat. So there's a cool new strat, isn't there, Chris? You were telling me about
the Assassins.
The double strat.
So yeah, which one of the Assassins in the first battle round, your strats cost twice as much CP. They're putting in the strat so that you can actually activate that for 2 CP on a turn. So that means Vect will cost like 8 command points or something.
Yes, rotate iron shields, shield breaker missiles.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a really great strat. I'm just here painting up my Gnorholes, not a euphemism, and Skaven and the spells. They are class models. The Gnorholes are really cool. I think there's some of my favourites. Some of my bloody favourites. I really, really, really like that they're bringing that in, to be honest. And it's going to be an Imperium as well, right? So it's going to be everywhere.
Technically, you can do it with Chaos as well.
Yes.
If you have Cypher, because he has the Imperial keyword.
But I'm just looking forward to the fact that it's going to... I don't like strats overly much in 40k. So I'm glad that they're being... I'm glad that there's another Vect, and I'm glad that there's ways that people are bringing... They're putting more ways in the game to just shut down stratagems completely. Mm-hmm. I actually think that that's really, really solid. Makes it more interesting for me, because at the minute people can just guarantee they're going to do a thing unless they play Drukhari. And now they're getting to that stage where they're like, I can't even guarantee I'm going to do the thing. So I'm super chuffed with that, personally. So which 3 Assassins would you take competitive ITC tournament?
Probably Calexis.
I was going to say Calexis.
Because it's just really strong.
Yeah, Calexis is really, really good.
I can't remember the other strats now, but...
Vindicares are fairly scary though, right?
One for the Vindicare where it can go through and shoot twice, but it's on different models.
I like the idea of Vindicares. I always like the idea of Vindicares, especially because they're usually going to be in your backfield,
Like
so they're
proper
fairly safe from being
snipers,
shot,
yeah.
which is quite cool.
But yeah, I will probably be building lists that have 85 points spare.
So you can get yourself a couple of assassins.
So I can just summon in an assassin.
Yeah, I think that sounds really fun, to be honest. I like it as well because it means you can still use your 3 other detachments.
Yeah, so it also means that you're not taking the CP hit of including one.
Well, the stratagem lets you
It's
pick
like how
which
it
ones
should
you
be,
want
yeah.
when you use it. So technically bring all 3 and just choose the one that you need to counter your opponent, which
Yeah.
I think is decent.
Yeah, because it happens, but it's not on your list.
Yeah, and down under network, I agree with you. They removed the previous rules for units and replaced it with a strat. The issue isn't the strat, it's the CP farms. I agree. It was never really even the CP regeneration. It was the fact that they made all the CP farms make more CP. Because it used to be 3 CP and for a battalion, and now it's 5.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. They just added so much more. Like, but then, and I said this when we covered that on the 40k show.
Yeah.
I said they've done that without increasing the costs of any of the stratagems.
We talked about the GT with the round 1 when we first met.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense realistically. But that's fine. It's Warhammer. It's not meant to make any sense.
No.
If anyone thinks that game design is their strong suit, then I'm just gonna.
But it's all about immersion, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. What for us?
No, that's what they want to design the game for. Is for
No,
immersion.
no,
isn't it?
that's bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any idea why they're designing the game
No. Just winging it.
realistically. But I love playing Warhammer, so like,
Yeah.
don't let those responses like bother you. Like, I love playing Warhammer, and I think it's amazing. Sometimes it's broke and janky, but I've accepted that at this stage in my life, and I'm
Not
just like,
Harlequins.
cool. Huh? R.I.P. my Harlequins. Oh wait, no, the stream's working. Don't worry. CP points should be limited. Oh, that's clever. At 1,000 points or 2,000 points, it's just a flat for every army.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really clever.
No,
A
that's
Home Minister. Yeah. Or give all armies CP hit like with Colts if you have 2 or 3 dexes in shoot, yeah. Do I play Skirmish, Rob? Dino. Do you know that that's my trigger word?
Who put him up to it?
I think someone has encouraged you to ask me that question. I do not play Skirmish because Skirmish is rubbish.
But we've got new skirmish coming.
There is new Skirmish coming. Maybe that will not be rubbish, but I can't guarantee. Either way. Oh man, this model is so sweet.
It is. I keep finding little bits I haven't painted.
Yeah, same. I'm like, what's this? Yeah.
That's me done for this? Oh, no.
It's quite cool painting the same model with someone. That's really fun. Actually, Rob, given that you worked for Games Workshop back then, what the fuck was the point of Skirmish? I honestly don't know, if I'm honest with you. I think effectively it's meant to be a way to get people into the hobby at a lower model. It's a lower cost point, right? Yeah. You can buy 1 box and be into Skirmish. So it's to convince people to just buy 1 box. I don't know. Honestly, they never told me. That was one of my gripes. But later on they did fix that. But in the early days, they wouldn't actually product brief me. So I remember launching the Space Marine Codex, and they hadn't told me anything about it. So I had to read it myself that morning, and then launch it live on the air that evening. And I was like, okay. Because it's insane, right? Not briefing the... Anyway, I've talked about this before. I don't want to talk about it again. It's just bullshit. It was just a bullshit time, realistically.
Fast, man.
Huh?
Let it go.
Yeah, I have. I'm like... But it is also comical as well. Like, yeah. and it's super involved with my hobby. Like, and also, like, everyone's watching. So, like, when they ask the question, it's worth sometimes repeating. But I'm well past it. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, yeah.
Screw you guys.
Cheers for tonight, fellas. Cheers, OJ. You have a nice time, man.
Yeah.
I want to find something that doesn't stuck to start a campaign with. I do like the old skirmish rules. What I like about them is the one box you can basically play with 2 folks. See, it's cool in practice. And if you're like a D&D guy, like it's like really fun. And if you're a great painter like Dino's in the chat,
yeah, you
can like have amazing armies and models that do really cool stuff. For me, I like battles. I got into it because I wanted to pitch armies against armies. So it's just not my flavour of the Warhammer I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then, as I said before, I still want to give Kill Team a try.
I still want to give Kill Team a try. I really do.
Everyone says it's
really, really good.
Really good.
Everyone says it's really good. Actually, should allow everyone to take a G-Guard and rename Vengeance for Cadia to Traitors Cadia and allow reroll hits or wounds for Separ armies. I remember you telling us all to get Caradron and get 20 Thunderers with Mortars. I do remember that, Orc Boy Phil, but like that was for a time an army list that you could run for like a year. You could run that list for a year, actually, Orc Boy. Do you not remember? It wasn't until the next General's Handbook that they changed that. So, hashtag. Fight me now. This is real bland and lacking depth. The smaller scale game, I don't know. It seems real bland and lacking depth at that smaller scale of game. I prefer rules like Mordheim. Yeah, I'd like to play Mordheim or something similar to that as well. But again, that's not something I've played. So it would be cool to do it.
Played the computer game.
What, Mordheim the computer game?
Mm-hmm.
Is it any good?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
I've intentionally not played Vermintide.
Oh right, yeah.
Because it's meant to be incredible and like super like just absolutely addictive, and I just know I'd get lost in playing it.
Yeah, that game is crack.
Yeah, I don't want to be involved in that. It seems too good.
Plus I get to play a dwarf. Plus I get to play a dwarf.
Exactly. Right? Who doesn't want to do that? It's just, yeah. Mordheim is the shit, got me into the hobby. Well then, it's worth it for that alone, realistically, Tristan. I used Skirmish to play with 3 non-Warhammer friends. It worked perfectly, but mostly because they only used models and I made armies match well. Easy to avoid some of the nonsense. Alright, okay, fair enough. Especially good for like an old hand playing against new people, I would say. Because then you can help introduce them to the hobby. Especially the mechanics of like what a D6 is, what a D3 is, the movement. It's pretty cool and functional. I guess
I just rocked up to Warhammer World with Toby and he said, here's some scions, here's a knight, I've got the gold, well his aren't gold, but custodes, that's it. It's like,
throw
some dice.
And was that good?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it and that's why I'm here.
Warcry is really exciting, so other people are really excited about the AOS skirmish.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in it, don't get me wrong, but I'm super invested in both of the 2 systems already. So both. I'm not really looking for any other options in either 40k or AOS. Like, I'm not looking for a third game, let's say Warcry, because I actually think that there is such a depth of skills that you can actually develop in both AOS and 40k that if you were to approach those games sort of like with them, either one, if you were just to focus on one, the magnitude of which you can learn things is really good, which is why I did the playing an army for a year.
Yeah.
Like, the more that I've done that, the deeper I felt my skill sets have become, and also my knowledge base has become with that army. And I don't think that would have done had I just kept jumping between the different games that they launch. So
I bought Shadespire, it's still in the box.
Yeah, same thing, right? That's meant to be a great game, and if that's the game you're going to play, fuck yeah, crack on.
Yeah.
It's just not the game I'm going to play. But I am also going to play Blood Bowl. But I've already promised that to More Than You Dino Titan Edition. I've also promised that to Mr. John Bracken himself, the Shadespire rules designer, and potentially someone who wrote Warcry. I'm not really sure.
Same team, isn't it?
I think it's the same team. But I promised him I will actually play Blood Bowl with him, and so I'll also play Blood Bowl with you. And I've got a Dwarven army.
Sweet.
No, not a Dwarven. Gang. Team. I've got a Dwarven team.
Yeah.
What you can do with those apples. My reads through your hobby book helped me on that too, Rob. My confidence of playing the army now 3 months later is remarkable. That's good. I'm really glad. That's nice. Yeah, it feels so good to stick with an army. You feel a lot more confident when you get to the tabletop, I find.
It's like I didn't, for my Space Wolves, I didn't actually change my list, even between like tournaments.
Yeah?
So I went and played the same list for 10 games before I'd made any change, decided to make any changes.
And how did that impact your gaming, do you think?
Well, I think the main thing is that I didn't actually know the army at all.
Right.
So I created it on stuff I thought looked good on paper.
Yeah.
And some of it was, some of it wasn't. Then I didn't know whether it was the way that I was playing or that it was just shit.
Yeah.
So
that's the variable, right?
I think that's the only thing that I would be careful of is chopping and changing around too much.
Well, I think that's especially indicative when people swap and change armies so much.
Oh yeah, I was talking about just going through and changing your list loads, because like give models a chance.
Yeah. I would play them out a few times. Realistically,
you can just have like a.
You can have a terrible weekend.
Bum game.
Yeah. That's exactly how I've been working it out. About 8 games is now Crast and definitely Rock. Fuck Raven Castellans, Crast Lancers for the win. So Hermanista's done that same process.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. I was worried a bit like championing the idea at the start because I was mainly doing it for me. But I felt it would also be impactful for everyone else. And I'm glad that everyone's taken that on board. And also learning things from that experience as well. It also means you jump off that bandwagon of like having to produce the next thing.
Yeah.
And you can just concentrate on what you've got. If you've got a pile of shame, you can work through it. Thankfully, my pile of shame's not too big. As we're sat in a room full of a pile of shame. Yeah. And Scrigo is on his... he's on his... Oh, look at that. He's got a Boingrot Bounder. And we saw Nathan's Boingrot Bounders on the stream yesterday. Oh, bloody hell, it's really late. Everyone, I'm so sorry, I've got to go to work now. So sorry. So I'm going to DJ the club in 40 minutes' time till 4 in the morning. So you guys have been amazing. Chris, you've been great. Thanks for hanging out with
me. No worries.
These are our favourite. Should we show our favourite? That's as far as I've got. I'll put a picture on the Discord. Chris, I'll cut to your camera. Hopefully it won't turn the stream off. Nailed it. Pull it back a bit. Fuck yeah. All right. So we'll put some pictures up. You guys are great. Thanks for joining us. You guys are cool. Hopefully see you soon. Don't forget, tomorrow Scriver's doing his art show, and then the Swedish fellas are back doing whatever the hell they do. And then on Thursday we'll be talking all sorts of 40k. You guys have been wicked. Have a great day and see you soon.
See ya.